Yeah, this is Prophet Marshall Occurrence back at it, man. A beautiful day, another day of giving offerings. So we glad everything is working out. I just gave offerings to Vietnam, Mexico, and Colombia, South America. Colombia, South America. I got a good church down there, and I always get results in spiritual warfare. So it's a great day. It's a great afternoon, great evening, because now we done gave over there in Colombia, South America, so everything is good and popping. We heterosexual over here, you know what I'm saying? We living righteous and heterosexual. Everything is going good, man. Heterosexual vibe and energy over here. That's all that's going on. Yeah, put it in the air. They got pride in who they are. Why we can't have pride in being heterosexual? Heterosexual vibes over here. Heterosexual pride. Yeah. Heterosexual pride. Yeah. Heterosexual pride. Yeah. That's what we talking about. Heterosexual pride. Yeah. Yeah, we doing good. We doing good today, man. We doing good. We got heterosexual vibes and heterosexual pride over here. That's all the only vibes over here. Heterosexual pride and vibes. Heterosexual pride and vibes. Yeah, so take pride in your heterosexuality. They take pride in theirs. We take pride. Why it's offensive when you take pride in being a heterosexual? Why is it offensive when you take pride in your sexuality? It ain't no because. I take pride in my heterosexuality. Yes, sir. I take pride in my heterosexuality. Yeah. Heterosexual pride, yay. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. See how they got people brainwashed? You can't even take pride in being a heterosexual. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I just gave offerings today, man. Everything is good. You know what I'm saying? Everything is good. Giving offerings out there, I can't stress that enough. I just sent a letter to President Maduro, totally handwritten by me, with no one else affiliated, just me. I wrote him a letter, letting him know everything that's going on in this country, about child marriage. I let President Maduro know about child marriage laws. Oh yeah. I wrote him a good letter and let him know all about the child marriage laws in the United States of America. He know all about it. It's too late. He got his letter today. He know all about the child marriage laws in America. Oh yeah. Man, what kind of man would I be not to tell President Maduro what they doing, why they act like they so holier than thou? Listen, I let President Maduro know. I wrote him a letter while he's in jail. President Maduro of Venezuela, the Venezuelan president. I let him know that America is marrying children in 34 states of America. I wrote it all in Spanish. Now he knows everything. Yeah, he knows the whole history, how long you had it and everything. I put that in there too. I put in there how long you had it. So you thought it was a game to use America against me, and listen, what you think I'm gonna do? I'm going to war with them. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm just doing it the godly way, where listen, ain't no paper trails, buddy. Ain't no paper trails. And now we on top. See, these people that, what I want you to understand as a spiritual warrior is, ironically, these secret society people are a one-trick pony. They're a one-trick pony, man. Well, the only thing they can do is this mind reading stuff. And now they done acted as spies for the Americans. Now they spies for the Americans. That's all they can do is mind read, mind read, mind read, mind read. Okay, so we get it. But it ain't doing nothing. It ain't stopping us. Gas is $4 a gallon. And if you don't know it, the average car is from 10 to 13 gallons of gas. It requires 13 gallons of gas. An SUV requires about 24 gallons of gas, right? So the average, now that it's like $4 a gallon, that's gonna come out to roughly $48 to $50 for an average car, and for SUV type cars, that's gonna be almost $100 to fill up the tank. To fill up the tank, it's almost $100. Coming out roughly to about $80 now. I'll take off 20, about $80 for them big trucks and big cars and all that kind of stuff. That's about $80. Fill up the tank about $4 a gallon. The average car is about 10 to 12 gallons. The SUVs is about 24, and the pickup trucks and stuff is 24 or better. 24 or better, so something like that. Yeah. So yeah, I went and looked. Because, okay, now you know it's $4 a gallon. Well, how many gallons is it in the car? You're going to be roughly paying almost, I did the math, you're going to be paying from $48 to $100 at that rate of $4 a gallon. And you telling me ain't nothing going on? We ain't doing nothing. See, that's the difference between mind readers and our kingdom over here, God's kingdom, who I am a servant in. I'm a servant in his kingdom. This is the difference. We have manifestations and y'all don't. We tired of you being a one-trick pony. You use one element, mind reading, that's it. What else they do? Oh, psychological stuff, about the same thing. Still in the mind reading realm. The mind realm is the only thing they're doing. It's a one-trick pony, man. All you got to do is snap out of it. They ain't doing, that's the same. That's all they doing. Mind reading, so what? You ain't going to be here much longer, buddy. The gas is going up while you reading minds, sucker. The gas is going up while you reading minds. So everything you're doing becomes baseless. That's why you got to slam doors, don't you? Because everything you're doing is baseless. Your baseless attacks. Mind reading is becoming baseless. The psychological games you're doing, baseless. All the talking around and yapping around us, baseless. All baseless, buddy. And you know it and I know it. I know it and you know it. It's all baseless, ain't it? Everything you're doing is baseless these days. Let's call it how it is. It don't matter how much your big lips keep moving. Everything you're doing is baseless. Them big lips moving, ain't it? That's all you can do. Big old lips moving, ain't it? Them big old lips moving, ain't it? That's all they can do. Move them big lips. Hey, you remember the lobster on you remember the lobster on Little Mermaid? When you got the big old lips. They got the lobster lips, don't they? Hey, they got the lobster lips. You remember the lobster on Little Mermaid? Go look up the lobster. That's how their lips look. They got the lobster from the Little Mermaid. You got the lobster lips from Little Mermaid, don't you? Oh man. Hey man, let me tell you something, man. You are a one-trick pony. You a one-trick little pony. Listen, let's call it out, man. Let's call this out. You a one-trick pony, man. You keep doing the same thing over and over again. Ain't nobody amused. Next year you're gonna be doing the same thing. I can predict it right now. This time next year you're gonna be doing the same thing. I guarantee you. How much you want to put on that? I put $10. I put real money. I bet you real money. I bet you $10 you're gonna be doing the same thing this time next year. And And then you know, for me, ain't no telling what I'm gonna be doing next year. You already know. You don't know, do you? You already know that you don't know what I'm gonna be doing next year. What I'm gonna be doing next year. You have no earthly idea, do you? This time, 2027, in March 31st, you don't know what I'm gonna be doing March 31st, 2027. You don't know where I'm gonna be. You don't know what I'm gonna be doing. We can pretty much predict you. You're gonna be sitting around at the base of somebody's window trying to play mind games. That's what you're gonna be doing. I got it summed up. Wherever we gonna be, what they gonna be doing? Mind games next door. Mind games around your door. Psychological games. Pretty much that's it. That's it pretty much, ain't it? That's it pretty much, ain't it? Psychological games. Oh, gang stalking. Little gang stalker sprinkled in the community. That's all you're gonna be doing? I summed up your next year already, and you can't do the same thing. And that's how we know you a one-trick pony. I already showed everybody what you're gonna be doing in 2027. That's a shame. Listen. It's a shame for you to compare yourself to me. That's real. It's a shame for you to compare yourself to me. You don't even know. You know for sure. You know for sure you don't know what I'm gonna be doing this time next year. You can't even call that. You can't call where I'm gonna be, and you can't call what I'm gonna be doing. Can you? And you already know that, don't you? And you also can't call what's gonna be happening spiritually. Can you? Spiritually, the manifestations. You don't know what's gonna be happening. The manifestations. You don't know what I'm gonna be doing this time next year with the manifestations, do you? Listen, you know that. A year's time is an eternity in this situation, ain't it? Huh? No pun intended. It's an eternity in this situation, ain't it? You don't know what we gonna be doing this time next year. You don't know what manifestations we gonna have. But I guarantee you're gonna be doing the same thing you're doing this time next year. I guarantee you that. You're a one-trick pony. We figured it out. The charm is broken. We get it. You can read minds. We don't care. You doing the same thing. You're going to be doing the same thing next year. We figured it out. See, a smart man going to sit back, watch X amount of time, and then we're going to size it up for what it is. You're going to be doing the same thing this time next year. Read minds, mind games, and psychological games, gang stalking. Listen, I said this last year. 2025, next year they're going to be doing the same thing, and here they are. They're doing the same thing. I said you can go back and watch my videos somewhere in there. I said they're going to be doing the same thing in 2026, and here they are. They're doing the same thing, man. And look, we always doing something new. I just wrote President Maduro. How could I have known that? Because I wouldn't even known he would have been up here. We always doing something new. We always progressive. We're always progressive. That's what I'm trying to show you. That's the difference. Don't ever compare them bums to me, because they got one trick and that's all they do. All they do is go around like bums, mind reading me and you. That's it. They got no manifestations, and now that the world is shutting down, who could possibly be taking them seriously? Who could possibly be taking these bums seriously while the world's shutting down and they still reading minds and that's all they can do? They can do nothing. We ain't amused by that. We ain't amused. Nobody's amused. You've been doing it too long. I count 8 years. You've been doing this stuff. I mean, to me, 8 years, bruh, and you ain't done nothing really new. Man, listen. We done so much. It's despicable for you to compare yourself to me. It's despicable. It's despicable. It's despicable for you to compare yourself to me, buddy. It's despicable for you to compare yourself to me. You can't be serious, buddy. You're a rock and roll hot dog, ain't you? You're a rock and roll hot dog, ain't you? Well, they got the rock and roll hot dogs at the gas station. They got the rock and roll hot dogs at the gas station. That's my inspiration. That's my inspiration is the rock and roll hot dogs at the gas station. They come out at the summertime. They come out every summer. They get the summer cranking with those summer hot dogs, those rock and roll hot dogs. You get a keg of beer, you get a case of beer, and get the rock and roll hot dogs. You got a party. You get a 6-pack of those rock and roll hot dogs, you got a party. You a rock and roll hot dog, ain't you, buddy? You a rock and roll hot dog. Can't be serious. Buddy, listen, that's a good way to describe these people, ain't it? These bums, witchcraft, you psychological game, you a rock and roll hot dog, ain't you? If you was food, you'd be a rock and roll hot dog, buddy. You a rock and roll hot dog, ain't you? Listen, buddy, listen. Don't get mad at me because you equated, if you was food, you'd be a rock and roll hot dog. You a rock and roll hot dog, ain't you? Hey man, you a rock and roll hot dog. You a rock and roll hot dog. You a rock and roll hot dog, ain't you? Hey man, listen man. Listen, buddy. Listen, man. Listen. We always doing something new, man. We always on our job, bro. We always manifesting. We deliver. As soon as you think we down for the count, boom, we pop up, man. We pop up like Jack in the Box. Soon as you think you got us, man. As soon as you think we down for the count, man, we do something else. Boom. I just wrote President Maduro. That's my last move. That's gonna get respect. Oh, he wrote President Maduro. Wow. You know, some people might not really. They might be disinterested in the offerings, giving the offers from different places. But I'm always giving offers to different places. Vietnam, I'm always doing different numbers. $4 million. You know what I'm saying? So you know, but I'm still doing something else besides that. You know, I done wrote President Maduro. Ain't none of the homies wrote President Maduro. I guarantee you, none of these homies in America never wrote President Maduro. Oh yeah, this dude being oppressed. That's like a new day Nelson Mandela, bro. Man, you know what I mean? This dude is incarcerated up here in America, bro. That's how I look at it. It's along the lines of that. It's along the lines of the oppression, like Nelson Mandela, man. How you bring him up here and you can't explain to us why you're up here? And Trump talking about yeah, we gonna go get your own oil. Listen, if a Democrat said the same thing, it would be hell on earth, wouldn't it? If a Democratic politician said to other countries, go get your own oil, showing exactly what you about. I mean, it couldn't be more obvious. It couldn't be more obvious, right? Go get your own oil could not be more obvious for your real motives. Now let a Democrat say the same thing. Oh, it's gonna be, I can't believe they acting like pirates, literally talking about go get your own oil. Trump can say it and nobody says nothing. See, it's a spooky place, man, because Trump can get away. He already said he can get away with murder. He already said he can shoot somebody and nobody wouldn't do nothing about it. Y'all remember that? His first term, he said he can go shoot somebody down on whatever avenue he said. I don't know. He said Park Avenue, some avenue in New York. He said he can, I don't know which one. Somewhere here in New York, he said he can shoot somebody in broad daylight. Nobody wouldn't do nothing about it. Don't you see how he think? Like he's above the law. Like y'all ain't gonna do nothing. He can do what he want to do, basically. He can do something that everybody despises and ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. You see what I'm saying? Look, man. Look. Trump, you have not seen the fullness of who Trump is. Trump gonna turn into a whole different animal. I give him 2 years. What this is 2026, 2028, March 31st. Watch who he gonna become. If we even make it there. Watch who he gonna be in 2028, March 31st. That dude gonna be a whole different animal. He gonna look like a whole different. He might look like a whole different person. He might have a whole different haircut. Hair might be way slick back. You know, he got to push forward. He got to push forward like this, don't he? If you had to do a sign language sign for Trump hair, it would be this. Hey, if If somebody was doing hand signals, you know, the little sign language to the deaf people, if Trump's hairstyle was one sign language, this is what it would be. Hey, do it to the side. That's a Trump. That's a Trump. That Trump get a he get a deaf hand signal. Hey, just go ahead and make that the whole symbol for Trump. President Trump. It is President Trump. Hey man. Hey man, listen man. I'm blessed today, bro. I'm blessed. See, only God's people is free to be able to joke and laugh. Look at our enemies. They dry humor, stale humor. They ain't got no, listen, they couldn't be funny if they tried to, could they? You know they done tried since they realized I'm funny. They done tried to be funny, ain't they? Or maybe they was bipolar, thought we gonna be the opposite of funny. You know, you got them people like that. Well, he's funny. We just gonna be non-funny. You're gonna be, hey, the bipolar person gonna say, well, we're gonna be non-funny. We're gonna be non-funny. You're gonna be non-funny. You already non-funny, sucker. Coming out here playing with me and doing the same trick and the halfway the one trick pony that you are, you already non-funny. You're already non-funny. Same little Jedi mind trick, same mind reading stuff. You're already non-funny. Standing around like they doing something. Hey, they standing right outside downstairs like they don't hear, like I don't hear them. I'm a soldier, buddy. I hear everything, buddy. Now, see, when the things change, you ain't gonna be able to have those same positions because it's gonna be a little more violent. I hope you're enjoying it because if anarchy come, it's over for you. Oh, we manifest. People gonna hold on to me. Oh well, yeah. This dude was manifesting before anarchy. We gonna protect him. Oh, what they gonna do with you? You gonna become a rock and roll hot dog. You gonna get eaten like a rock and roll hot dog. They gonna eat you like a rock and roll hot dog, buddy. You're gonna get eaten like a rock and roll hot dog. Washed down with 3 beers. Washed down with 3 beers. You're gonna get washed down with 3 beers, ain't you, buddy? Hey, when anarchy happened, yeah, these secret societies, you're gonna get washed down with 3 beers, buddy. You're gonna be in the belly of the beast getting washed down with 3 beers. Don't you see it already? I have become the Duke. As in the Escape from New York. Maybe that movie is too old for you to know. Isaac Hayes played the Duke in the Escape from New York movie. I'm already the Duke. You don't see it? Oh, so who's going to rule when anarchy comes? You're going to listen to the freedom fighters. You're going to listen to everybody who was most credible concerning where the world was going. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to meet the right direction. You can't just be, oh, yeah, well, you know, I was a successful rapper before this happened. Well, I was a successful rapper before this happened. Can't you see him now? Well, y'all know me. I was a successful rapper before this happened. You ain't gonna have no pull when it's all over. Guess what? People like me is the one that's gonna rule. All the people that's like me, anything like me, we gonna be the rulers. That's how it's gonna be. That's why I'm already in position. Don't you see it? I don't acknowledge this stuff going on. That's bull crap. This is a crap show now. Don't you see? It's a crap show. Welcome to the crap show. Everybody use that term all the time, but this now has officially become a crap show, hasn't it? Yes, it has. This is a crap show for sure. For sure, bro. For sure. And you know people want to hurt Trump. You know they do. Look at all the stuff that's going on. I'm just being real. I'm not inciting nobody to do it, but I'm just giving you my opinion. I think people Want to hurt Trump right now, buddy. You got $4 a gallon on gas. Listen, buddy, you got $4 a gallon. That ain't a game. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Iran playing chess. That's how you do it, man. You can break all that technology stuff. You can break all them missiles, all them soldiers. But guess what? Iran is still making incredible moves. Iran is still making you feel the bite, buddy. You still feeling the bite, ain't you? Yeah. Iran's still making you feel something. That's what we talking about. Long as you're making them feel something, that's what we talking about, buddy. That's the name of the game. Everybody don't got the same weapons anyway. Everybody don't have the same capabilities anyway. Iran is making them feel the bite. That's how you do it. You don't let up off their neck. You don't let up off their neck until they meet your demands, and they ain't gonna meet your demands. They already said Iran can't have no nuclear weapons. Like, who is that? Who are they to say that? See, it needs to be people from the UN and all of that up there that makes it clear that Iran can have nuclear weapons if they meet certain requirements. Oh, they can't. So this is what one person said. They talking about, they got an apocalyptic view of the future. We don't care how you describe these people in these Walt Disney cartoon perspectives of Iran. The bottom line is, if they can meet requirements, then we don't care what your view is, because most of these white Americans have a distorted view of everybody except their own white people. Okay, so then, I am going to consider that these are not white people, and you might have a distorted view of these people. That's how we look at it. You might have a distorted view of Iran because you got it from rednecks and all these white people you've been around. And so we ain't going by that. We feel like they should be allowed to meet requirements. They should be given the benefit of the doubt to meet requirements to get nuclear weapons, just like any other country. Every other country got it right. I can see if no country in the world had it. Then you can say they trying to do this stuff that nobody else is doing. Okay, then we can get it. We understand that. But if you got nuclear weapons yourself as Americans, and everybody and most of the superpowers got nuclear weapons, why can't Iran update themselves to the 21st century and have nuclear weapons like everybody else? That's what I'm talking about, man. No, as a black man, I feel like, I feel some type of way about that. When you just say, you set in stone that these people can't have nuclear weapons, who are you? Who are you supposed to be? You know what I'm saying? Nah, I don't feel that at all. I feel like it's kind of discrimination. I feel like it's kind of like, on low key, it's kind of like something against non-white people. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Think about it, man. So you got to read between the lines. It's kind of like something against non-white people. Think about it, though. In a roundabout way, here we are with non-white people. See what I'm saying? And so then guess what? What they not gonna do? They not gonna be reasonable with non-white people. And in African, it's not the only one. Arab men, Asian people, you gotta pay attention, man. It's not only black people that these people are funny against. They funny against when you elevate in the world as a true intellectual black man. You realize these Americans are against all non-white people, all non-white. All you gotta be is non-white. That's your requirement. That's the criteria. That's the criteria. That's the criteria you gotta fit. You are non-white. And anytime they mess around non-white people, pay attention. Pay attention. President Maduro, look at that. Non-white. Got him up here, right here in Brooklyn where I'm at right now. He's somewhere in Brooklyn where I'm at right now. Look at how they brought him up here, and you can't explain to me how he's supposed to be up here. You can't explain to me legally how they got him up here. Legally. He's non-white. That's what we know, right? Right. It's always something funny with some non-white people. That's how I'm starting. That's the pattern. So when it comes to Iran, it's another situation of non-white people. Yes, that's how we look at it. Because who are you to say that they can't change? Who are you to say they will never have a nuclear weapon? Who are you to say that? You see what I'm saying? Who can say that? Who is that? Who is that all-knowing of the humanity of Iran to say they can't never have a weapon? That's what I'm not feeling. No, I don't feel that. No, I don't feel that. Who are you to say that? That's a human being. They can change. Those are human beings. They can change. Who are you to say they can never have a weapon? That's just like saying you just write them off like they ain't gonna never be no good. Think about it. They ain't gonna never be no good. They ain't gonna never comply and do the right thing. How you know? The bottom line is this: the UN should step in above America. Somebody got to step in above these people. That's real. They have become already like a world government. Have you noticed that? America, through helping people. That's why I wouldn't even accept their help. Because as soon as you accept their help, you accept their authority in government. They have already become like a world government all over the world, telling people what they gonna do and what they not gonna do. That ain't how you gonna be a government over a government, unless you consider. You see what I'm saying? Unless you're considered a world government. They already considered a world government. How you gonna go? How your government gonna come and tell another government what to do? What they can't do. So ironically, you say you for freedom, but you go all around the world and produce oppression and restrictions. You're anti-freedom all in the world. Oh, they can't have nuclear weapons. They can't have nuclear weapons. Now, see, the UN, you need to step in and put it like this, bro. If Iran, you need to draw up the paperwork, and let it be known that Iran can get nuclear weapons if they meet certain requirements. Yes, sir. No, yeah. If they meet certain requirements, they can get nuclear weapons. That's how that need to be professionally put. That's professionalism. Okay, you can't just tell them they can't have ever. That's unprofessional. Yes, it is, because what makes it unprofessional is you can't say from generation to generation how the people are going to change, and you just put this stuff out there, and it's not based on good reasoning, sound, progressive reasoning, if you will. Yeah, I guess you could say progressive reasoning. Yeah. As how they might change. They might change. You can't say that's not professional. Professional is, okay, I know I stick to proper reasoning. Basically, I stick to proper reasoning. That's professional. If I know you could change, it's possible. I'm going to leave the door. I'm gonna give the requirements. That's being professional. I can't tell you, who you gonna be in 10 years. I don't know. And then if I'm smart enough to know, if I make these requirements, you might change because I made the requirements. You might change because of that. I've already won, man. Don't you see? I'm not standing off with you. All them lames outside talking right now, buddy, a fake. Listen, ain't nothing fake about me. You have not manifested anything. All you've done is do what you're doing. You mind read, okay? You have become washed up. That's the term for you. You're washed up, buddy. You're washed up. You're all washed up, aren't you? You're all washed up with nowhere to go. You know how they say you're all dressed up with nowhere to go? These secret societies people are all washed up with nowhere to go. You all washed up with nowhere to go, ain't you? Oh, that's a good word to describe you. You keep doing the same thing every year. Talking about I'm fake, how? Because that's what you would like to think. Because you ain't met nobody like me, where I can crack jokes and I can be myself, but you gotta stick to a persona because you fake. Well, how we know you fake is you stick to a certain persona. You can't just be yourself. I could be myself, and if you try me, I got weapons. That's what a real one gonna tell you. Hey, I can laugh, I can joke, I can crack jokes with the kids, but if you try me, listen, I might see. That's how we know you ain't ghetto, because that's what a ghetto person gonna tell you. Oh, I'm gonna be myself, buddy. I mean, but if you try me, buddy, I got these weapons. See, you a poser, buddy. You a poser. See, how we know who a poser is? A poser gotta stick to this certain persona to make people feel they're a certain person. You got to stick to a certain persona to make people feel and believe in what you present yourself to be. I don't care what you believe. I know I got these weapons. If you want to try me, if you want some smoke, you want to go around the corner? You want to go around the corner right now? You want me to come out there and you want to go around the corner? You ain't built like that, sucker. You ain't built like that. So don't talk to me about who's fake and real, buddy. Listen, I'm just like all these ghetto people know. Listen, how many times y'all sit back and just be yourself just like me? You know what I'm saying? And a lane got to stick to a persona and you don't. I don't got to stick to no persona. Because that's when you're a kid. Once you get older, you just be yourself and do what you do. Ain't that the story of the ghetto? You just be yourself and do what you do, right? But watch the white boys and watch the Oreos, the black people that's like white people. Watch them. Watch the Oreos. They got to stick to a certain persona. You can see it in their face and their head. They all in persona mode, ain't they? They all in persona mode. I'm just being me, like a ghetto dude got the flow in the ghetto. I got the flow in the ghetto, don't I? I got the flow in the ghetto. That could be a podcast. You got the flow in the ghetto. I got the flow in the ghetto. Hey, listen, man. Let me tell you something. You ain't fooling nobody. You, to me, are just a people that hold to a certain persona. But you don't deliver even in that certain persona. All you're doing, back to what I was saying, is you a one-trick pony, bruh. You do the same thing. We done sized you up like real dudes will size you up. This is the calculations of a real dude. You are only mind readers. That's it. That's all you are, and that's all you will ever be. You can't manifest nothing in the overall world at large. You can't address nothing in the overall world at large. You don't have intellect for the overall world at large. You listen, you a shrub. You a shrub. You a shrub and scrub. You a shrub and scrub in our world. And all you can do is wizardry of the mind, and it don't hold up. You need manifestations in the real world, buddy. Hey, go ask a homeless man. You need manifestations. Who you think a homeless man gonna believe in? A psychological person or a dude with manifestations? Every time you see him, he doing something. Oh, he just read President Maduro. Let me go tell a homeless person I just wrote President Maduro. Oh, he gonna look at me differently. He gonna be drunk. He gonna open up his eyes. Oh yeah, you wrote President Maduro. Oh wow. He gonna have a whole conversation about that, ain't he? Hey, a homeless dude halfway tipsy. That's a good conversation. Oh, you wrote President Maduro. Oh wow, boy. How you managed to do that? Hold on, slow down. Slow down. And he wanna have a whole conversation, don't he? Slow down. Okay, hold on. Let's slow down. How you wrote him? He want to know everything, don't he? He ain't got nothing to do. He want to know everything. How you wrote him? First. Hold on. Slow down. How you wrote him first? How you wrote him? You wrote him a letter. You ain't emailed him, did you? You couldn't email him, could you? They don't give him a phone. You couldn't email him. He want to break it all down. Oh yeah. Well, okay. So you obviously wrote him. You wrote him, didn't you? You wrote him a letter. How many pages you wrote the letter? How long was the letter? 8 pages. Wow, man. What all you say, man? What all you say to him? You gave him you did give him your address, didn't you? You gave him a return address, didn't you? Now it'd be a shame if you ain't give him, because how you know he got it? I ain't trying to put no doubt in your mind, but how you know he got it? I ain't trying to put no doubt in your mind. No, I'm just wondering how you know he got it. If you ain't put no return, you put the return address. Then okay. See, I know how the streets move, buddy. You follow the culture. You follow rappers. I'm cutting edge with the streets. I just left California. I've been on the streets of California, buddy. They ain't tell you that. You can't see me, buddy. I promise you can't. You're a poser. And that's how we call it. And I don't care what you add to it. You can add witchcraft to it. You can add telepathy, psychic, and black magic to it. You are still a poser. I talk to the streets, man. You don't. You talk to the streets. You talk to the streets. No, you don't. No, you don't. Half of these rappers don't even talk to the streets. You just up there enjoying your celebrity, ain't you? You just up there enjoying your celebrity. You don't really talk to the streets. Oh, it's a difference between making these podcasts and enjoying your celebrity and who you are to the people. And yeah, you can enjoy who you are to the people. And you just sitting up there talking about who you are and what you do, and you really ain't speaking to the streets. The streets. See, we only respect those rappers who's speaking to the streets. And that's how we figure out who's who. Because see, when you sit back beyond the stories, no, we don't want to hear no stories. We want to hear you talk in 2026 about what it is right now on the streets. On the streets now, not in Hollywood. And see, if you was a thug, listen, you'll be able to talk about the streets right now in 2026 and how it is and how it's moving, ain't you? You can't do it. Like, that's why I only listen to people that can talk about it. They can talk about how it's going right now, not the 90s, not 1994, how it was going in 1994, and them same stories you keep telling over and over again. You done told them stories 20 times, I count 20 times. How is the streets moving now to you? How is the streets moving to you now? Let's talk about that. Oh, you supposed to be a thug. Y'all remember that song that came out about 8 years ago? I thought you was a thug. Y'all remember that song? I thought you was a thug. Y'all know what song I'm talking about. Hey, man. Hey, listen, man. Listen, man. Hey. Why you can't talk about street rules and regulations right now in 2026, and I can? But I'm fake, but I can talk. Hey, that's to the people outside, standing outside the window. They don't think I know. Listen, how can I talk about rules and regulations in the streets, but half of these community people that you respect, they can't talk about it. Well, see, that's how we know who real and not. That's how we know who's real and not. This is how we know who real or not, because you can talk about rules and regulations from a street level, not from a celebrity level, from the streets. Yeah, don't never use that word fake out of my mouth. I've been on the streets, buddy. Hey, listen, I've been on the streets. Oh, I get it. Freemasons dumb that down to me being a bum. Well, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's not what you got, it's how you work it. If I go on the streets, I'm gonna get more street credibility. I'm gonna get more street smarts. Now you go on the streets, you might be a bum sitting around in the corner all day. I'm gonna get street cred. I'm gonna get street credibility. That's why I told you, never go to the white man asking him what happened to a black man on the streets. Don't ever ask no white man or some of these cornballs or these witchcraft suckers. Don't ever ask them what happened on the streets with a black man like me. You go to the streets and ask them, and you're gonna find I got more credibility. You're gonna hear a whole different story. Oh, well, he got credibility over here. He did this. I'm talking about real dudes. Oh, he was doing this over here. He checked this woman over here. He checked this dude. He almost fought this dude over here in California. They wind up being cool, dapping it up. Okay, so but a white boy ain't paying attention to none of them stories. They ain't paying attention to none of them stories. So it's not what you got, it's how you work it, right? So so you gotta understand that, man. You gotta understand that. All they got is psychological games all day. We got real stories, we got real life, we got real rules and regulations and principles. Psychological games is a one-trick pony. We don't care nothing about that. We don't care nothing about it. You can go tell whoever you want to tell, whatever you think is on our mind. You've been doing the same thing last year. We over you. You washed up, and we ain't giving no more credibility to it. And if you give credibility to posers and people that pose and they can't be themselves, they gotta stick in this pose. That's why they look weird like that, because they hold in a pose. They can't even breathe without. They can't even breathe. They like how kids was in high school. You're trying to find out who you are. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to find your identity and your lane and your drip, your sauce. You're trying to find who you are. You're trying to find who you are, right? And that's what mode they in. I'm just flowing in who I am. See, an OG is gonna flow in who he is. I just flow in who I am. You know what I'm saying? I don't like you can. That's why I trip off of you. I ain't no BG. I'm an OG. I done got the status. I done had people call me an OG. That's what I'm saying. So I done had people say, "Yo, OG, OG." I done got to that point. I know how old I am, but you don't. I know how old I am. That's why you can't shut me up. I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing as I do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep doing as I do it. So you can sit there watching my every thought. But listen, I'm going to tell you something about that. I'm going to tax you and these women. Women too. We going to get you too. Listen, we going to get man and woman that's over there on that side. We going to get you too, buddy. All you women, we going to get you too. Oh, you thought you was what? Because you got a vagina? So what? I ain't having sex with you. It don't serve me no purpose. Why? Because some men are so much of a sucker. A woman's vagina that it ain't even doing you nothing, ain't giving you no pleasure. It serves you. She can use it against you and razzle dazzle you with her vagina, and you ain't even having sex with her. You another person to me. I don't care nothing about your vagina. I'm not having sex with you. So then you can't charm me or influence me because you have one. See, that's what a real warrior gonna tell you. You can't razzle dazzle me by any means because you got a vagina. Hey, I'm not having sex with you. So you just another girl to me. You just another human being to me, buddy. I don't care nothing about it. I don't care nothing about it, which means you can die just like everybody else. See, a real king put women and men to death out here. A king had to kill women and men. Some of you can't be a king because you won't kill no woman. I kill a woman too. Yeah, I will. I'll kill you too, buddy. What, you thought because you got a vagina? You got a vagina, that's going to do something. It ain't gonna do nothing for me. It's not serving me. So then why would I be influenced by it? You stand around like I'm influenced by your vagina and I'm not. You playing yourself thinking I'm influenced by your vagina and I'm not. Yeah, try them suckers with that. They get influenced by other women's vaginas they ain't even having sex with. I treat you like a human being. You just another person to me. You just another person. And see, when you're level-headed like that, nobody can fool you, nobody can deceive you. Nobody can play any games with these females coming in your face, because that's the first thing they're going to use for spies is a woman. Your enemy's going to use a woman for spies. Because a man is you already on guard, you already, how I put it, you're already apprehensive, or you're on guard. You're hostile. You're gonna be more hostile with a man. A woman come around, they use a woman spy. Oh, even though you know she's an enemy, you might give a pass if you're a sucker. See, this is the kind of stuff we expect rappers. I shouldn't even be doing this as a prophet. You rappers should be the one talking about these real issues and these street politics. But I gotta fill a void. I guess. Because ain't nobody talk about the real streets, the real rules and regulations, which now has evolved to where now we're interconnected with these affairs that's going on with the government and MAGA and these racist people. Don't you see it starting to interconnect? Oh yeah. Well, it means that we're all paying attention and we're all involved in the same war. We had our own wars at one time, but now when it's a threat to everybody, now we connect our wars to one war. That's how you know it's a problem. Because all these communities become one big war. Oh, you don't see that happening? Oh, okay, yeah. When gas is coming up to $4, that's affecting all wars, ain't it? That's affecting all riders, ain't it? literally, no pun intended. That's affecting all the riders, ain't it? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so then you're gonna be concerned about that war. Now everybody's in tune with what Trump is doing and everybody's doing. And guess what? These secret society people gonna be left behind posing, man. You know what you're gonna be doing? I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna be trying to ride with certain gangsters. You're gonna be trying to ride with certain gangsters, and it ain't gonna work because you ain't gonna be built to hold your own. You might have some people among you that might shoot guns. I'm not oblivious to that. But I done seen enough of you that are weird and weirdos, and I know you ain't got no heart. And those type of people, what they gonna do? It's too many of them. They gonna be sitting around looking scared and stupid, biting their nails. Can't you see them right now, biting their nails? Ooh, what we doing next? What we doing next? What we doing next? What we doing next? Hey man, look. Listen, you played yourself playing with me. That's why nobody feel sorry for you. You played yourself playing with me. Nobody will feel no bit sorry for you. That's why they let me do what I want to do, because you shouldn't have played with me. And now they esteem me as themselves. Okay, if that was me, yeah, I would want to get my revenge, and I would want something to happen to these people. Cause I know exactly what you are. You a poser like we seen in high school. Them dudes that thought they were so cool, but you know you could shred through that. And it was nothing there. That's the same people we dealing with. That ain't who we evolved, and we became more. They started smoking weed and thought they was hard. See, if Elaine gonna smoke a blunt and think he 100. Oh, don't let him smoke no weed. Oh, don't let him smoke no weed and get a fifth of vodka or a fifth of Hennessy. Oh no, don't let that happen. Oh, this dude gonna think he 100. 100. He gonna think he 100. He gonna think he 100. He gonna think he 100. Hey man, listen, bro. You're not 100 because you smoke a blunt and drank a fifth of Hennessy. You're just a person with vices. You just got vices that don't make you cool. In high school, we thought each other were cool when we seen people smoking cigarettes and smoking weed and smoking Black and Milds. But when you become a grown man, we esteem cool as a whole different level, a level you couldn't possibly be on in 2026. You ain't got enough numbers. You ain't been nowhere. You're not cool to a grown man. Just because you sit around smoking weed and drinking, and you see what I'm saying? That's what we do, but that's not what make us cool. Now that becomes a backdrop, like, hey, hand me a beer. But I'm doing something else. Not, yeah, I'm cool because I got a beer. That's you. You're cool because you got a beer. I'm cool because I'm getting a beer thinking about something else. Yeah, hand me a beer. Oh, yeah, I'm looking over here. That's the cool guy, and yeah, you see what I'm saying? That's the cool guy now as a grown man. Yeah, hand me a beer, man. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking over here, man. I'm drinking this beer and look over here. I can just look over here and be cooler than you because I'm just listen, because I'm not paying to the. I can just hand me a beer. I'm just looking over here. I'm cooler than you looking over here drinking a beer. You sit back drinking a beer like, oh, I'm cool because I'm drinking a beer. That's you, bro. I walk down the block drinking, enjoying my day. That's what a grown man does. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, your problem is, I'm telling you, your main problem in this secret society, you think you're cool, don't you? You think you're cooler than me, don't you? You remember that song? You think you're cooler than me? You think you're cooler than me, don't you? That's what it is. I hit it right on the head. They think they're cooler than me, right? That's why they playing music and they doing all this stuff posing up and posting up. You think you're cooler than me. Man, you listen, man, you a lame. You don't even deserve to be standing out there. You see what I'm saying? That ain't even a valid position. You are not a valid position. In what world? You not, listen, I'm going to say it like I drunk a fifth of vodka. In what world? You are, that's my I done drunk a fifth of vodka voice. In what world? In what world are you in a valid position? That's what you got to tell a poser. In what world are you in a valid position? We don't validate that. We don't authenticate that. Go try them teenage kids with that. They the only one gonna be impressed. And you couldn't even hold that position where you impress the teenagers. They ain't impressed by that no more. It's corny, it's lame. I know it is. And this is why, full circle, a revolution to why I said it was lame. Because you have been considered a one-trick pony. We figured it out. Enough time went by to figure it out. You do the same thing year after year. We got it. We figured it out. Me, I'm always doing something new. I just wrote my last move was writing President Maduro. Come on, man. Listen, teenagers gonna think that's cool. Oh, man, he wrote President Maduro? Wow. Okay. That's above their head. That's above their head, bro. Do the Donald Trump's death signal sign. That's above their head, bro. It's above their head. Listen, bro. Listen. Your problem is you think you cooler than me. And you not. You not. You ain't cooler than me. Oh, listen, I'm pretty sure you're shooting for being cool. Oh, you might not be. You'll say, well, I wasn't shooting for being a street nigga anyway. But I guarantee you were shooting to be cool. Oh yeah, you was. You was shooting to be cool. But you ain't cool. You know why you're not cool? Cause you play around people's mind. We would never think you was cool. No, we don't. We win wars without doing that, as you can clearly see. We don't got to play no psychological games around somebody's head. We still win games and we still get respect of the community. That's how I beat you. You know how I beat you? Because I am cooler than you. That's if you was cooler than me, you would have got the respect of the community. Why I got the respect of the community? Because after all, I'm cooler than you. I just proved it less than an hour that I'm cooler than you. I just broke you down in 2-3 different ways. I'm cooler than you, bro. As a Christian. See, a lame opposer thought, well, I can be the Christian. I might can't beat these thugs and gangsters, but I can be the Christian at being cool. Oh, that ain't what it is. I can be the Christian at being cool. And now you feel so bad. You know why you feel bad? Because you feel like it's against the rules that a Christian is cooler than you. Oh, he's a Christian. He ain't even doing nothing. See, that's the first thing you're going to pick on, ain't it? But I have done it. I've done many things that you ain't never done. You see what I'm saying? So you thought you was going to play around the Christian dude and you was going to be harder than me. And listen, I done done felonies and everything. See, that's what you forgot about, sucker. My life before I became a Christian. You thought you was dealing with a little lame and you could just do whatever you want and I wouldn't know you was a lame. Yeah. You thought you could just have me in your own little world and I wouldn't know you was a lame. Oh, I can be cool over here on top of the Christian. I know I can't be cool on the gangsters, but I can be cool on top of this Christian. How that's working out for you? Yeah, buddy. You gotta hold your head over here. You gotta hold your head, buddy. Yeah, you can't come over here thinking you playing with me. Like I'm lame. You listen, I'm gonna call it what it is. You make any mistakes, like a pit bull, I'm gonna growl, I'm gonna bark. Right. As soon as I detect any foolishness, like a pit bull, I'm a bark and growl. You walk past a pit bull and you a lame, he gonna growl. He smell fear. You can't be serious. And then just because you say I'm the one, don't mean I ain't gonna still be on your head. You shouldn't have played with me. See, a lame gonna think, oh, well, if I agree with him, I'm cool. Hey, can't you see that in the movies? A lame try to agree with a gangster or a street dude or a soldier. Oh, yeah, he right. But the soldier sitting there like, hey, just because you agree with me don't mean you listen, just because you agree with me don't mean you're going to get out of this situation. You thought because you agreed with me you was going to get out of this situation, didn't you? I'm sorry, buddy. Sorry. You played with the worst character in America you could have probably played with. And see, that's what's bugging you out. Because who is this person? Well, let's find out where he come from. Let's find out all the mysteries of this person. You couldn't figure them all out, could you? You couldn't find all the mysteries of me, could you? No, you can't. Because I'm creating new mysteries. I'm creating new mysteries, not just hanging on to old mysteries. I'm making new mysteries. You ain't beat me, buddy. You ain't beat me at all. Because I don't participate in the game that you play. And if anybody want to regulate or enforce on any rules from your game, I always got my weapons. I already told you that. You know, I always got my weapons. So then that handles anybody that want to challenge me. That's what we do in the real world. You know what we do? We get weapons when people want to challenge you. Yeah, that part. I don't have to sit here and play along with this. You know what Americans do? Well, I go get weapons. I don't have to take these challenges. And if you want to play with me, I'll shoot you. Or I'll hurt you. I'll stab you. I'll hit you over the head. I hit you over the head, buddy. Want to get hit over the head? I hit you over the head. If I take a metal pole and hit you over the head, you would die from trauma to the head. See, the problem with black people is you only think people can die from bullets. I'm gonna say it like that. You only think people can die from bullets. If you talking junk and I got a metal pole, don't you know black people will see a metal pole in your hand and won't think nothing about it? Like it can't kill them. I'm dead serious. You can have a metal pole in your hand and they'll think it means nothing. If I hit you in the head with this metal pole hard enough, like I'm swinging a baseball bat to hit a home run in the MLB, in the Major League Baseball, if I hit you hard enough, like I'm swinging to hit a home run into the parking lot, if I hit you one time like that, with all my might, don't you know you're going to die from trauma to the head? So I can just have a metal pole up here somewhere. If I hit you with something hard enough, it's going to be trauma to the head, buddy. And guess what? It's going to be less of a charge because it's not considered a deadly weapon. I could have made the weapon deadly, but I guarantee it's going to be considered differently if it's not a deadly weapon or classified as a deadly weapon. A metal pole isn't classified as a deadly weapon. See, I'm talking about real assassin game, bro. If I hit you in the head with a metal pole and you get trauma to the head and you have internal bleeding on your brain, listen, you're going to die. You're going to have problems. Internal bleeding, fracture head, skull. I hit you right in the back of the head and you gone. You might not pay me no attention. And I got a metal pole and you see me walking with a pole, you ain't gonna think nothing. See, black people only scared of guns. That's all they scared of. Stupid. Somebody hit you over the head, buddy. Somebody hit you over the head with a metal pole, and then what you gonna do? You gonna fall. And if they hit you over and over again, you dead. If they hit you one time and you fall and they beat you in the head over and over again, you're going to die. You're not going to live. You're not going to wake up, most likely. That's why fights are stopped. You know why I learned why are fights stopped? Because somebody can beat you in your head till you die. You can't take too many blows to the head over and over and over again. Kicking in the head and punching in the head and dropping on people's head. You can't. And throwing stuff on people's head. You can't. They'll die. That's why people break up fights. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Because you don't want them to die. I figured it out. And you sitting around like you can't die. Don't you know somebody can punch you in the face one time and you die? That's how cautious I am. Somebody can punch you in the face and kill you. It happens all the time. Pay attention to the news, the videos. You done seen it? Somebody punch you one time with their fist, that's all. Hit you just right. The stars align just right and hit you in your head and you die, bro. Hit you in your face and you die. That's food for thought, buddy. Somebody can hit you in your face one time and you die while you're around here thinking you invincible. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. Even down to a fight. You can't say it ain't true. You done seen people fight somebody that got beat to death one time. I bring up the case about that one dude that was a Dunkin' Donuts worker. And the white dude was a customer. And he said something to the dude. They had an argument, a dialogue. and the dude called him a nigga or something. He said, say it again. He came around the corner and hit the dude one time and he died. He sent him to hell from Dunkin' Donuts, buddy. He went to hell from Dunkin' Donuts. He went to hell from Dunkin' Donuts, buddy. That white man went to hell from Dunkin' Donuts. Sleeping on people. Killed you from Dunkin' Donuts without a weapon in his hand, buddy. That's all I'm saying, bro. I mean, that's why you can't play with nobody. And the dude wasn't even big that killed him, though. That's what I'm tripping off of. It wasn't even like it was some big muscle-bound dude at Dunkin' Donuts. It wasn't even like this dude was like even, he might have been $180 at best. He might have been $180 wet. $180 wet. That's how little slim the dude was. He wasn't 200 pounds for sure. He might have been $170. $165. He was like in that range. $165 to about $180. Right? He hit this dude one time. He hit him one time and killed him. He hit him one time and killed him. He went to hell from Dunkin' Donuts. While you out here thinking you in a position, man, listen, somebody can hit you one time in your head and you die. No, that's food for thought, though. I'm talking about right now in 2026. You can fight the wrong person and think you're gonna just fight it out. He hit you one time, and he could be between $165 and $180. While you used to trying them dudes around in that weight class, he could be around in that weight class and hit you one time and you die. That's all I'm saying. You scared of everybody else. I know you are. You scared of everybody 6'3", 200 pounds. You ain't gonna try them. But it's dudes that's in the lower weight class as far as weight. As far as weight and stature, man, they can kill you. My evidence of that is the Dunkin' Donut worker. That dude had to be what, about in his late 20s, something like that, mid to late 20s. Man, he hit that dude one time. Uno, one time. He hit him one time. Sent him to the grave one time. He ain't knock him out. No, he ain't knock him out. He killed him with one punch. That's food for thought for men and women. Somebody hit you one time, you could die, man. That's what I'm saying. That's how you supposed to move. Like you know that. Because some of these black people think they're going to fight you out. And you fight the wrong person, you die. Think about it. Especially, it's an ongoing joke that gay dudes can fight, right? Well, we used to say that in the South. Gay dudes can fight. Well, I don't care if they can fight. If somebody hit you one time the right way, you going to hell. You going straight to hell, buddy. And you can fight all you want. If he hit you just right, it's over. It's always like it's always like that. Okay, you can fight, but that dude hit you one time, boom, it's over. He might send you to hell. That's what you got to be conscious of. You might can fight all day. You might be a good fighter, but this dude is he just throw he throw haymakers. What we call haymakers. Put you on the hay. Haymakers. Put you on the hay, buddy. As in hay in a barn on a farm. Haymakers. That's what we call them. I'm a country boy. You know about haymakers. Somebody put you on the hay, buddy. Them haymakers. Hit you one time and it's over. Okay? You die. Females can't be trying dudes. A dude hit you in your little head. You know how little head, women got little heads. Dude hit you in your little head, you die, man. You can't be out here trying nobody, man. Cause how I say, a woman can fight too. But if she ain't got no chin, she gonna knock out. Chin is a whole different animal. Chin determines how many punches you can take without falling. Obviously, that's the most important factor. How many punches can you take without falling? That's your chin. Everybody don't have the same chin. You can work out and everything. And that's a subject to study. Chin. which is how many punches you can take. Right? If you're a woman, you can fight. You could be a big woman, you can fight, but you got a certain chin. And if a dude fights you and he hit you just right with that weak chin, you gonna fall, buddy. That's it. You could be a big girl, you could be strong, everything, but you got chin. You got a certain amount of chin. If you fight a dude and he hit you across that weak chin, it's over with, bro. Everything you can do is going down the drain. Just like that. Just like that, buddy. And I don't know if it's a tricky thing. If you fight a lot, you got better chin. I don't know. If you don't fall throughout school and you don't kind of fall a little around a little bit, took a couple punches here and there all throughout your life, maybe it's that. I don't know. But I know everybody don't have the same amount of chin. I know that. That's a subject I'm gonna study too. Chin, because can you enhance it? Can you make it better? Are you just born with a certain amount of chin, or you know what I'm saying? Are you just made up with a certain chin? It's something to think about, because it don't matter how big you are, it don't matter how much weight you lift. See, when I was in the gym, I got up to lifting 200 pounds. See, why people think I'm weak or whatever, that's why I try to tell people, man. I used to work at a gym, right? I got up to lifting, benching, doing reps, getting it up 200 pounds. I lift couches on my back. Less than a year ago, when my wife was moving out, I'm lifting whole couches on my back. She watched me. She said, "Oh yeah, I saw you." She was at the balcony watching. I put a whole couch on my head and my back, bro. I don't know what it is to make people think I'm weak. Oh, I know what it is, because I carry myself humble. You know what I'm saying? If you watch me, I carry myself humble. Man, I used to lift 200 pounds in the gym. Which means if you less than 200 pounds, I got natural strength that can slam you on your head. I can lift you all the way up and slam you on your head, that's for sure. I'm the same height as Mike Tyson. I'm just talking from a fighter defending myself perspective. This is not carnal. I'm talking about defending myself. I'm letting people know my rank. That's where my heart is at. Not putting out a threat. I'm letting people know my weight class. I'm the same height as Mike Tyson. Me and Mike Tyson the same height. So just in case you thought I was a little, in your mind, you might think I'm a little short guy. I'm the same height as Mike Tyson. What that tells you? It tells you a lot. If you know what Mike Tyson do to people. Okay, so if I'm the same height as him, you see what I'm saying? That put me in the same stature and place where I could build myself up and possibly knock people out like Mike Tyson. I'm just saying, you the same height as Mike Tyson. I'm the same height as Mike Tyson. I got the same reach. Let's at least establish that. I got the same reach as Mike Tyson. I'm the same height. So if you thought I was a little guy, okay, then just realize that I'm the same height as Mike Tyson. Okay, that's all you need to know, buddy. That tells you enough information. Okay, so it's a good height too. Because if you real big, let me tell you something about dudes when the war break out, this gun fighting war, civil war, if it breaks out like we think. A big dude is gonna be a big target, an easy target. If you 6'9", how hard do you think it is for me to shoot you? If you duck, I'ma still hit you. If you're gonna be about 5'5", you're gonna duck to about 5'4" when you duck. When if somebody let off, right, and start shooting, you're gonna duck and still be about 4'11". You're gonna still be an easy target. When I duck down, I'm gonna duck to about 3'11". 2'11". I'm gonna get all the way down. If you 6'11", you a big dude. You can't fight wars. They know this too. So guess what? I never aspired when I was a teenager to be a big dude, because you a big target. I never wanted to be a big tall guy, because I thought, militarily speaking, if you this big dude and people start shooting, you're gonna be the first to get shot. You easy to shoot. It's a lot of you. It's a lot of you, buddy. it's a lot of target on you because you're big. You're a big target. So it doesn't work in your favor. A big, tall guy is only good, if he can get the upper hand on you in a fight. That's as good as a big guy is. He knows this. He know it, but everybody else don't know it. I know it. Fighters know it. If you a big old dude, it's more parts of you, which means there's more parts I can target of your body. If you a big old dude, I got all these targets I can hit. And all I got to do is hit you a couple times to slow you down, and then it's over. So the first shots, I can slow you down, and it's over. I'm not hating on it. I'm talking how I always thought. Not even to be hating on it. I never thought I wanted to be this big guy in war. Big guys in war are going to be, what they going to do? They're going to be a huge target. You can get shot down so easy. It's going to be a little dude that's going to be able to run and get away. You ain't going to be able to hit that. A big old dude, it's a big target. It's plenty parts to hit. See what I mean? It's plenty parts to hit to the dude. So, when the war break out, all them big dudes that sitting around thinking they bad and tough, you're going to be a big old target, buddy. That's all you're going to be. That's all you're going to be, is a big old huge target that's easy to hit. Anybody can hit you. Anybody. They know that. I mean, if you sitting around, and I'm not condoning this, but this is what people do in the world, right? If you sitting around smoking weed and you're a big dude, I know eventually you're going to think, man, well, anybody can hit me if a war break out. You're going to eventually think that. You're going to sit around and get high. You're going to think about it. And that's why they wind up being more humble, because you realize your limitations. You realize if I'm a big dude, if somebody starts shooting, they can easily hit me easy. It's going to be a better chance of them hitting me than a little dude. So it only works basically in high school. And then when you get out of high school, being a big dude means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. And that's why they wind up being humble. You see what I'm saying? When it works in your favor if you're in school, because you all you're gonna face is fights most of the times. But these days that don't work either. Kids come to school and blast you. You know what I'm saying? But let's just talk on an average situation. I mean, it's gonna work to your advantage until after high school. After high school, you could go to even college and it don't work. It don't even work in college. It don't even work in college, man. It only work K through 12. Then after that, listen, man, you out here in the real world. Some of you a big old target in the real big old world. That's why if you look at military, I ain't never seen no big old 6'9", 6'11" military dude. Most military dudes is about 5'8" to about 6'4". That's about right. 5'8" to about 6'4" to 6'5". 6'6" or better, you don't really see that. You think about what I'm saying. Look at military heights. Look at the height of these military dudes. In any military, the average military person is about 5'8" to about 6'4". 5'8" to 6'4". That's all. Anything after that, I ain't never seen no big old 6'9" military dudes win. Where? When you look at military images, when do you see 6'9"? You don't see it, do you? You notice that? And any military person you spoke to, was they even tall? Most of them wasn't. Most military dudes I met is about, like I said, I would say about 5'10" to about 6'2". About that I've ever met. Because in war it's a whole different dynamic. Height don't work to your advantage. You're more of a target. You're more of a target. I think the big dudes realize that. Why would I go to the military? I mean, if I'm like 6'11", I mean, you can, but it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter because everybody got guns. So you being big ain't gonna mean nothing. Oh, it might mean, okay, maybe you might learn a niche of being able to do better headshots because you're a little bit above everybody. So you can master the art of headshots better because you're a little bit above everybody, and that's really, you can come down better and just and use that window of opportunity when someone really ain't sizing you up quick enough, and you can get them headshots, but the bottom line is you're gonna still be a bigger target. You're gonna be a bigger target, and the bigger target means all I gotta do is hit some part of you, and if it's a whole bunch of you, I got a whole bunch of options to hit you. You see what I'm saying? So I've never seen big old dudes in the military. It's just not they thing. It's not they thing. See, and a lot of people don't pay attention to that. No, a big dude in the military, that's not they thing. They thing is sports. Basketball, football, those sports and things like that. That's their expertise, but not military. No, that's not gonna work to your favor. The bigger you are, it's not gonna work to your favor. Cause think about it. Even if you're in the jungle and you this big old dude, now you see what I'm saying? And you try to camouflage yourself from the enemy. That part, that settles it right there. If you 6'11" and you trying to stand beside this tree because you just seen the enemy, you trying to duck down, you can't do it. You too big. You gonna be more heavy, making noise, all that. You see what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be a perfect soldier. A perfect soldier is gonna be between 5'5" and about 6'3" at best for me. But I might say 6'3.5". Anything higher than that, if you in the war zone, and you gotta hide and camouflage and duck down real quick, and you don't want to stick out, right? You gotta think about these other elements. All these other elements that can get you killed. If you're a big old dude, man, they gonna see you a mile away, man. Literally, man. A big old dude in the jungle. You can't be that. That's only it looks good, but when it's incorporated into war, it don't pass the test. So all those type of guys like that, man, you're gonna have to be surrounded by a whole bunch of other dudes. That's the only way it's gonna work. That's the only way it's gonna work. That's the only way they can survive. Other than that, if you're a big old dude, it'll be so easy. I don't even gotta be good at shooting a gun. If you big, I can hit you. I can just easily hit you. I don't gotta be that good. It's a lot of room to hit you. It's just think about it. If you think in terms of a target, right? If you're a big old guy, I got so much room to hit you and slow you down. All I need to do is slow you down and it's over. If I hit you like boom, boom, you're like, as soon as you slow down a little bit, it's over. So that's after the war breaks out. That's after war breaks out, after anarchy. If anarchy comes and the war break out, I'm gonna definitely be getting guns. I already know what type of gun I'm gonna get. Remind you, I grew up shooting guns. So that's why I know it's a right way to talk about it. I know it's a right. People from the South know a right way to talk about the art of gunsmith, being a gunsmith or marksman. The art of being a marksman, as opposed to not a gunsmith. The art of being a marksman, right? I just put Smith on it because you put Smith on every like wordsmith, things like that. But a marksman, see how I didn't need nobody else to make me recover. I recovered myself. I already had it in my head. A marksman, I can talk about a marksman. I could talk about being a marksman without being a wicked, evil person. I could talk about being a marksman without it being demonic. And you need to learn how to shoot guns. If you're a Christian, these people ain't got no love for you. That's the bottom line. That's all that needs to be determined. These people ain't got no love for you, and it don't matter what it's about. I don't care what it's about. I'm gonna get strapped about it when I can. When I can. It's always in the back of my head. I'm always thinking about the gun plugs. I'm always thinking about gun plugs. That's right. That's right. I'm always thinking about gun plugs. All I need to do is get enough amount of money to give me some guns, and that's the only thing that's gonna stop it. That's the only reason I don't have it. The only reason I don't have a whole bunch of the guns I really want is because of a matter of money, and that's what it is. You can already see I'm there. So, that's why, see, some people don't know who they challenging. You really don't know who you challenging. You know what I'm saying? You a poser. Basically, that's what it is. You a poser, and you stick to this certain personality. You don't gotta believe in me. Like I always say this, because another thing that's like high school is, well, I can sit back and choose to believe this or not. Yeah, you can do that. You can choose to believe or not believe that someone's a threat, like in high school. But in the real world, you can take no chances. That's how we operate in, maybe you're not in the real world. In the real world, like really being out here in the real world, you can't afford to doubt somebody you don't know. You can't afford to do it. If you want to live, now if you're suicidal, then I'm not talking to them type of people. They do whatever they want to do, don't they? Because they don't care about if they will live or die. But we talking to the people that do care about living, right? You can't just be trying people you don't know, bro. You can't be safe enough. When it comes to somebody you don't know, you can't be careful enough. When it comes to somebody you don't know, the only thing you can do is doubt yourself in the real world. You can't doubt nobody else. This is from a military perspective. A person that doubts another person, this is what a soldier gonna tell you, is a fool. If you a fool, if you go out here like a high school person doubting people, I don't doubt nobody. That's why I take precaution. You can't say I do that. You might think because of how I talk, I might doubt. I don't doubt nobody. Because some other people might talk like me. They just don't care. They get arrogant who they try and how they try people. No, I'm not like that. I'm not like that at all. I don't challenge nobody. I check people, and it's a big difference. See, if you're not smart, you don't know the difference. Challenging people that you don't know versus checking people, what you're supposed to do as a grown man or woman. I'm going to do that all the time. Now, challenging people, I don't challenge people. And see, it's for more than one reason. Because guess what? If I don't challenge nobody, guess what? Everybody going to be on my side. See, so it's for political reasons too. If I let you do all this stuff, they going to hate you. That's 7 out. They gonna hate you. I'm gonna let you do all this stuff. See how stupid you are? See, you didn't know we was playing chess. That part, that's 7 out. You didn't know we was playing chess. I'm gonna let you do all this ignorant black stuff, and everybody gonna hate your guts. And I'm gonna say, see what I'm talking about? So by the time I attack you, everybody's on my side. See, you stupid. You thought you was playing. Listen, I know. And if you real, you know I'm right. And if you fake, you're going to try to ignore what I'm telling you. You sitting back, making all these dumb decisions. I'm going to let you do everything you're doing. And then, listen, everybody going to be on my side. That's why I don't challenge people. Because when you keep challenging people, people going to hate that kind of person. They despise that type of person. Anybody that's challenging a person over and over again, people hate that kind of person. I don't care where we at, in the hood or wherever we at. People sit back and say, I hate that dude, man. Always going around challenging somebody. I hate him, man. He think he's so bad, challenging people all the time. You know he got some kind of psychological problem, he got a social problem, don't he? He want to fit in with everybody, like he's still in high school. And behind his back, people saying that, any bully behind his back, somebody hate that person. Man, yeah, I hate that dude. He think he arrogant bastard. Arrogant jerk. You know what I'm saying? We hate that dude, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you become that person. As secret society and all these witchcraft people, they hate you. Because you didn't realize the world and the timelines in these different positions. You become this person that challenge people all the time that we knew in school or in the hood. There's always some dude like that, big arrogant dude. But the truth is, it seems like everybody like him, but a lot of people hate him too. Well, that's what come with it. So you might have collected some friends along the way, but guess what? You also collected a lot of enemies along the way as well. And nobody is tolerable of somebody that keeps challenging somebody over and over again. So the more you keep challenging me, guess what? Everybody gonna be on my side. And then guess what? Eventually, like they are now, they gonna want you dead. You know why? Because you kept challenging people. That's why I keep telling people, you got to know the rules and regulations. This stuff is a matter of life and death. They don't think it matters. And the reason why you don't think it matters is because you have not interacted with dangerous people. If you interact with dangerous people, you got to have rules and regulations. That's the first thing you got to understand. Before you even chill with them, you can't even chill with them. They might want to kill you you start getting high and drunk. Oh, a lame already know what I'm talking about. You get high and drunk with killers, and now you done messed up and pissed them off and said the wrong thing or did something. That's why you don't want to hang with nobody that's a killer. You don't want to hang with no dangerous people because you're scared of making mistakes. Well, you still got around to doing the same thing. You can't come out here playing around wolves and beasts of the field and think we gonna let you get away with it. No. And because I was a Christian, you thought I was going to let you get away with it, didn't you? The part you forgot was I'm a soldier. You can think this is story time. You can think this is a story around the campfire. You can think all of that stuff. And I got weapons, and I got God destroying this whole community. And listen, buddy, listen. Everybody know it's real. And ain't nothing you doing that's real in the real world. Ain't nothing you doing is real. All you doing is posting up, and I'll come out there and challenge you. You feel me? Like that's the only way I challenge people is their position. I challenge your position, cause I know you a poser. I know you a witchcraft person. That's why you gotta dart around like a rat. You gotta dart all around like a rat, run around like a rat, because you a witchcraft person. But we don't care about that. We ain't gonna break it down to a white boy's format. For you to feel comfortable and to get away with stuff. And for us not to use our own style, I'm going to use my own style, which is you a threat to me, I'm going to eliminate you. That's it. What I supposed to do? I ain't letting you play with me all around the country. No, buddy. You out your cotton picking mind. Like we say in the South, you out your cotton picking mind. And like I said, you know, if you ain't got no room to doubt nobody in the real world, buddy. I don't do it. This is how I survive. It ain't being scary. It's being wise, a wise person. If I don't doubt nobody, I'm always prepared for anybody and everybody. I don't doubt no one. The person that doubts somebody, you got your whole guard down, acting like a cartoon, like you could just play games with somebody. And I could have been done something to you if I wanted to. But you ain't worth it. I got bigger fish to fry, and now you see why I didn't do anything to him. Because I wanted to provoke a collapse in this community, and now we on the verge of World War III. Now imagine if I challenged these little lames in this building. Where would I be tonight? Somewhere in the county for 3 months. You know what I'm saying? I might have been in the county for like 3 months and couldn't, work my spiritual warfare like I'm working it now. If not for any other reason, I was able to be out in the streets to be able to get this cash in my hands and get this cash into other countries. You know what I'm saying? I might have been able to, and then get the cash from my family too. I couldn't get cash from my family because I would be in the county with no cell phone. So I wouldn't be able to get cash from the family. I wouldn't be able to get cash on the card. You know what I'm saying? And so if not for any other reason, I stayed out of jail in a good way to be able to still work spiritual warfare with cash and money. Okay? I can fast in jail. I can fast, but I need cash too. And I already did it. We already done it. I done sent $4 million to Vietnam. I already had money over there in Vietnam. I just sent more money. I sent a little what I had left to Vietnam today. Now we working with Vietnam. And all you trying to do because you a poser and you want to be cool and you want to be part of the culture. See, a person with a brain like that, when you start saying I'm being cool, you trying to find a way to format and come up with it and coordinate with it. And so you want to challenge it on the level that it's on, and you want to be like what I'm doing right now. You can't do it. You can't do this. You can't be like us. This is military, buddy. I'm spiritual military. And so you're trying to find a way to coordinate with it, and you can't. You can tighten up and do that psychological stuff. Nah, that's one trick pony, buddy. Ain't nobody buying that. You see where you at? You ain't got no manifestations. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't gonna know, and you know you ain't gonna be able to do nothing in the real world that anybody that will be credited to your activities and to what you do. Ain't nothing gonna be credited to you. Ain't nobody gonna credit it to you. So then people credit stuff to me right now. In the real world, stuff that's happening. That's how I took off on you. You ain't nowhere near me. Ain't nobody gonna give you no credit in the real world for anything you do. They ain't gonna credit nothing to you. They not gonna credit nothing to you. Ain't nothing they gonna say and look in the world that we live in and say you had something to do with it. They ain't gonna say you had nothing to do with none of this stuff. Now imagine yourself, imagine me letting them try me and act like me and them seeing eye to eye because you want to be cool in the world now where war is everything. Now you want to try to tighten up with the little psychological mind game stuff. That ain't the same thing that we doing. So all they try to do is take that same little mumbo jumbo, a psychological mumbo jumbo to the next level, and they doing the same thing, and with every little move. Nah, buddy, listen, let me tell you something, buddy. Let me tell you something. You a one-trick pony in a world of war, buddy. That's all you are. That's all you are. And ain't nobody paying that. If you think we paying that attention, you retarded. You absolutely are a type of retarded. You might not be crippled with your hands and your legs being that kind of retarded, but you are a type of mental retarded. And I'm dead serious. I'm 100% serious. You some type of retarded. If you think that's doing something to us in the real world. See, if I understand what you're doing, the power is lost. You lost the power. Sun Tzu said this in the Art of War. Sun Tzu said this in the Art of War. If I know my enemies and I know myself, I need not to fear the outcome of 100 battles. I already know you playing psychological games. I already know where my mind is at, so I'm going to win every time. He said if you know yourself, not even the physical capabilities, but not limited to just one aspect. If you know yourself, and let's just put it in the context of what it is. If you know they playing psychological games, you already know that, right? You know who they are. How they gonna win? You ain't gonna never doubt yourself, not totally. You gonna just work through it and know it's not you and it's them, and you gonna win. In the words of Sun Tzu. Okay, I'm a student of Sun Tzu. Nobody ain't got a patent on that. Well, we was talking about Sun Tzu. We was talking about the Art of War back in the day. So what? They made movies about it too back in the 90s. Wesley Snipes in the Art of War movie, which was a sorry movie. Ooh, that was a bad movie, wasn't it? You would think a movie talking about the Art of War, it would be a great movie. That movie was so sorry. That was a whack movie. Wesley Snipes do good movies, but I'm just saying, at face value, I don't watch the movies of the world anymore, but Wesley Snipes makes good quality. He projects himself. He projects fictitious movies in a high quality, right? But the Art of War was whack. He didn't write the movie properly. I'm pretty sure he didn't write it, but he got paid for it. But the Art of War movie was whack. That was whack, So I mean, you're not the only one that talked about the Art of War. Is my point, So ain't nobody got a patent on that. Ain't nobody can take, because ultimately, I would have found this book anyway. Me being who I am, the Art of War, I would have found that anyway. It's a book that everybody know. Everybody would have came to it. I would have had as soon as I would have came to it, I would have been the same way I am now, man. I would have latched on because I'm already inclined. Militarily speaking, mentally, psychologically, I'm already mentally inclined, militarily speaking. I'm already militant minded, naturally. In the real world, we call them natural soldier boys, and they do exist. And military personnel will tell you exactly what a natural soldier boy is. Some people are natural soldier boys. They just inclined. Just like some people can sing, and they ain't never got no singing lessons or nothing. They just can sing. They just got a voice. They can sing. They ain't never went to get no school lessons. Don't sing it or nothing. And some of them never did. Some people had a whole career, and if it ain't broke, they don't fix it. I mean, some people just can hear and they got musical intelligence. Musical IQ is what it's called. Just like you got athletic IQ, you got musical IQ. And some people just can hear and just put them notes out and they never needed a music coach, a vocal coach. Same thing, I never needed to go to the military. Got that? See how that hit? I didn't never need to go to the military to be a soldier. Just no different than a natural singers that didn't have to go and get vocal lessons. They're just natural. Some people are natural at it, man. So when you played with me, I just went to war, bro. I just went in. I just went all the way in. And see, you took it as, to one extreme. You either military or you're stolen valor or you're a wannabe. You forgot to leave room for natural soldier boys. Some people got natural talents for stuff. Just like natural talent for singing, natural talent for this, and there's people got natural talent for war. And it's just so once they found it, just like people found singing, they latched on. So I would have latched on to Sun Tzu's Art of War as soon as I found it. It would have been interesting to me either way my past went in life. However I found it in life, I would have latched on, and I definitely would have latched on in the world we lived in, because the Art of War, it's done crossed everybody's mind a path at least 5 times in your life where you heard about it here or there. So I would have latched on, me being already militarily inclined. Either way it goes, some other kind of way. So I'm a student of Sun Tzu. That's one of my masters. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it, man, you know how beautiful the Art of War is, man. There's only, in my point of view, there's only a good side of the Art of War. Which means you can't be an evil, prideful person and work the Art of War. It won't really work all the way. So the Art of War only works for, if you pay attention to the strategy, it only works for a person that works a righteous position. It don't totally work for someone that's arrogant, because with evil comes arrogance. I never met an evil, humble person. That's part of it. When you're evil, you're arrogant, and Sun Tzu's Art of War is anti-arrogant. That's why it can't go together with an evil person, because they're gonna be too hasty. They're gonna do stupid stuff. They're gonna do arrogant stuff. That's why it's easy to beat the Americans in the Art of War, because they're arrogant people. All you gotta do is use their arrogance against them. They arrogant where they gotta talk. They gotta let you know what they're doing. They gotta let you know they're there all the time, right? When I just sit back. But listen, they know they're not affecting us. That's why they gotta say something. That's why they gotta try to do something. I work the Art of War, buddy. I don't work witchcraft. I work the Art of War. I actually incorporate it into my fighting style, into my intellect. And if you don't take it seriously, listen, that's you. I'm going to take full advantage of it if you don't take it seriously. If you don't take me seriously, I don't lose no sleep. I don't shed no tears. A soldier is going to take advantage of any time you don't take them seriously. Think about it. If you don't take me seriously, and you think I'm someone that I'm not, I'm gonna be a whole different person over here. That you self-deceived yourself. I didn't even have to deceive you. War is all about deception, right? My enemies are so deceived about me, I don't even have to do that. I don't even have to use deception in the Art of War, because they deceive themselves. They choose to be like kids in high school and believe all these different narratives and stuff. I let you. It was perfect, like a beautiful cake, like a wedding cake. Your self-deception was like a wedding cake. I let you deceive yourself about me to make you feel better about yourself. You wanted to believe this stuff about me that wasn't true. Meanwhile, simultaneously, I'm a whole different person over here. See how you in high school, according to how I think? I'm gonna let you think in war in the streets. Okay, street games and high school games, you're gonna try to assassinate this person's character or whatever, right? In the context of school, so you can get the girls and be popular. In the real world, see where we at? See how I hate different. In the real world, you thinking something about me that's not true is gonna give me the full advantage. I'm gonna get the full advantage, and I'm gonna be in a whole different world than what you think. Everything that you thinking, I'm gonna be in a whole different world than what you perceive me to be. And I'm gonna take full advantage of it. I'm gonna take full advantage of it. I'm gonna take full advantage of it every single time. So you can think whatever you want. And if all else fails, I got my weapons. And that's what you're ignorant about too. You ignorant about, well, so if I fail, I still got weapons. Okay, so there you go. And see, that's the art of war. I'm not sitting up here okie doke. You okie doke down there, playing opposer's position that we don't care nothing about. We don't care nothing about that position. That's not a valid position. We do not consider that among the best of us a valid position, the position you play in these secret societies and with these Freemasons and these butthurt Americans who you're with, who is with you, the butthurt crowd. The butthurt crowd, we don't care nothing about them. Because their position is not validated. They don't do nothing in the real world that we respect. See, once you become the real warrior, the next step is now, let me navigate this where it's respected. I could be any kind of soldier when I get a gun in my hand. You know what I'm saying? I could kill 1 million people. I can kill all kind of people. But now the soldier has to navigate. See, that's why I say the art of war doesn't work for evil people. The art of war does not work for evil people. It doesn't. Because if you just what I just said now, if I get a gun in my hand and I just shoot everybody, that's not the art of war. The art of war is understanding, in this context, if I shoot all these people, I'm going to create more enemies. If I shoot a whole bunch of people for no reason, that's not the art of war, because now the art of war is all about wisdom, right? Wisdom. That's the foundation for the art of war, right or wrong. Evil doesn't know wisdom. It doesn't use wisdom in its entirety. It might use it to a certain degree, but wisdom is not used entirely by evil people, obviously. And Sun Tzu's art of war is all about wisdom. And that sums it up. That definitely sums it up for why the art of war cannot be used by evil people, because the art of war is wisdom. We all settled on that, right? It's wisdom and strategy, right? Right. And it's not just physical strategy, it's psychological strategy, intellectual strategy. Because if I come out here and I start wars for no apparent reason, that doesn't work as the art of war, because the art of war is all about winning my wars. It's all about coming out as the winner. So then obviously it comes back to wisdom. The art of war cannot work in evil. That's why I don't worry about my enemies trying to act like they can use it. You can't use it against me. See, the art of war is so good, it only works for the righteous. It only works for good people. See, my strategy, if your strategy is the best, it's not going to work for evil people. If it's so high in intellect, it's in principles and morality, it can't work for evil people. See, a true sensei has philosophy, not just a war fighting style. I also have philosophy. That's why you cannot say you're the sensei that I am. No, you're not. Because every sensei I ever met always has philosophy. If you watch a martial arts movie, the master always has not only a fighting style, he also has philosophy. And the philosophy is not just the fighting style. The philosophy is morality and character and honor in his fighting style, incorporated in his fighting style. You thought I was play, buddy. I'm not play over here. You and your kids play. I'm not play. I'm a real sensei. I proved it. I proved it with my fighting style and my philosophy. I can break down anything I do to a format in intellect. That's how I know I can train soldiers, and you can't. You can't train soldiers. All you can do is train them to use witchcraft and that same weak, washed up, refried psychological, psychic telepathy power. That's all you can do. Every year going in and going out. That's all you can do. Okay? That's all you can do. That's all you can do is psychological games. We don't care nothing about that. That's one element in the real world that cannot hold off all these other elements. You can't work one element in the real world. Even a Christian can't work one element. The best Christian works more than one element. Which means I don't just have spiritual power. I have spiritual intellectual property. I have spiritual intellectual property and spiritual power. You work one element. Show me another element you work. You work one element, psychological. That's all you work. That's why once we know this about you, we do not let you compete with me. We work more than one element. The only element you work is psychological. We work the real world, showing the Americans they marrying children. We come all the way into the marketplace in the middle of America and confront them on marrying children as real masters and senseis. You couldn't do this. So you can't say I'm like them. I'm just over here on this seventh heaven type of situation. In the state of nirvana. I'm not in the state of nirvana, brother. Buddy, I'm not in the state of nirvana. You're in the state of nirvana. I'm not. I'm in the real world talking about rules and regulations in 2026 and chastising the Americans for marrying children. The same thing you tried to catch me on, I already caught them on. And you're too late. You see what I'm saying? We wind up showing we are the true senseis. This is now a matter of senseis. I don't face students and punks. You're a student punk to me. If all you can do is one element of psychological games that's not effective. Because like I said, if all else fails, if you think you beat me, I have weapons. If you ever confront me. See what I'm talking about? And I have more than one weapon. I'm a real sensei. You can't make this up. You can't make this kind of intellect up, buddy. And that's what you've been sitting back spoiled on. My level of intellect, my level of intellectual property. You can't go find one person in Brooklyn like me right now. Man, go find somebody else like me. Go find somebody else and make them make a video and show me how they sound like me. And I ain't talking about all this other information sprouling around the world. Information that applies to the situation. Information that applies to me and these situations. Go find somebody that is accurate and their information is as valuable and potent as mine on the same information, on the same plane, on the same dimension, on the same playing field, in the same category, in the same subject matter. Go find somebody with my numbers that's talking about marrying children while the rest of the community talking about pedophiles. See the difference between a sensei? A sensei gonna talk about you marrying children. A student is gonna run around like parrots and roaches talking about pedophiles. You gonna run around like roaches on a parrot's back. Oh, a whole bunch of roaches on a parrot's back flying around talking about pedophiles. You're like roaches on a bird's back. Pedophile, pedophile, pedophile. The parrot flying you around. The parrot is the vehicle of Freemasonry. It flies you all around talking about pedophile, pedophile. A whole bunch of roaches on the parrot. Pedophile, pedophile, pedophile. The parrot the one saying it ain't. The Freemasons the one saying it. Listen, their vehicle, their institution is the one saying it ain't it. But I'm the one talking. The sensei is talking about you marrying children. Shuts it all down. See what I'm talking about? That's the difference between me and you. I'm a sensei for real. Listen, you a student. You thought I was. Man, you can't be serious. You would like to think I'm a student. That's what it is. You would like to think I'm a student. I know everything you're doing. I called it out. All you're doing is psychological games. We don't care nothing about it. Because the bottom line is, it's not in the real world. Everything you're subject, you're limited to a psychological world that does not exist in the real world. Nothing you're doing is real. Everything we're doing is real. Well, child marriage laws are real. I don't have to play no games. I cut straight to the chase. You marrying children. See, that's the difference between a sensei and students. You punks. You're punks. You're a punk, buddy. And you thought you could do like any other little punks in martial arts thought they could do. You thought you could come play with a sensei and you got your butt handed to you. Now you're sitting around playing psychological games around me, and I'm too big as a sensei for me to sit here and go through it anymore. That's what a sensei's supposed to say. Excuse me. That's what a sensei's supposed to say. I'm too big to play psychological games with you every year in, year out. I'm too big for it. I got too much reputation. I got too much respect. And all you keep doing is the same. See what I'm talking about? All they keep doing is the same thing. And some people are so stupid, they don't pay attention. They doing the same thing, bro. There's no progression with that community. What's the progression? Show me what they did differently. I challenge you to show me what they have done differently this year. What? What have they done differently? What have they done differently? Nothing, bro. I can show you a million things I've done differently this year alone. Get an alliance with President Maduro. Now he knows who I am. Now I have a world leader who knows me personally. You don't, do you? You don't. Well, not really. Not you personally. Nobody in this building in the neighborhood personally, right? Knows you personally. As a world leader, know you personally, do it. They don't do it. They don't know you personally, do it. Not you. Oh, they might know about your group, but they don't know you, do they? So who is in front of me, the sensei say who is in front of me is all that matters. I don't care about the name of your group and your organization. Who is in front of me is all that matters. You're all students. That's how I won. Now I can tell you, voila, that's how I won. Because you held on to the name of a group. Listen, you were nothing. You had no reputation. You came and fought me. You are only as good as you are in front of me. And you was nothing. All you did was psychological games over and over again. That's all you did. It didn't work. It did not work. I don't find a need to compare myself to students over and over again. A sensei like me is going to say, nah, it's a lost cause. I'm not going to sit around here and let people challenge a sensei. Think about it. In martial arts, you wouldn't even respect it. A whole bunch of students playing with a sensei. You ain't gonna respect it, and then they can't do nothing with him. And then they gotta use all these people and make him out to be like an alien for it to make sense. I'm an alien? Oh, I put a child in the world. You didn't, did you? Most of these gay student punks didn't put no child in the world, did you? So how we know you ain't an alien? Well, my DNA wouldn't connect with no human being and make a child. Huh? Oh, no, see, you the type of sci-fi person. See, we don't pay you no attention. How we know I'm not an alien is because because my DNA connected with a woman and made a child in perfect health. Not a mutant, not a deformed child. A child in perfect health. That's how we know I'm a human. That's how we settle it. Because people retarded these days. They really are. Okay, but how we know you ain't human? You got a child in the world? You don't, do you? Well, you're gay. You don't got no child, do you? Well, but you playing psychological games. How we know you ain't a shapeshifter or some reptile or something? Well, prove it. Can you put a child in the world? Can you put a child in the world? See, stuff you should have thought about, dummies. Well, how would an alien's DNA connect with a human being DNA and make a perfect child? Bro, are you losing your mind? You losing your mind, ain't you? You losing your mind, ain't you? They had to paint me as Bigfoot or an abominable snowman because I was kicking their butts too good. I beat all these people. They couldn't believe it. That's called strength, sucker. Something you wouldn't know nothing about. It's called strength. It's called power. And you ain't got it, do you? Well, you ain't got it like I got it. Yeah, I don't care what you want. I don't care what you want to do. I don't care nothing about you. You're students, buddy. And you're at best you're all students. And your group is only as good as who is in front of me. The Freemasons, the Illuminati, is only as good as the people that is in front of me. Boom. That's 7 out. Well, I don't care what you call yourself. These bums around here doing the same psychological stuff they doing every year. Listen, bro. Listen. I don't care what you call yourself. You only as good as the students punks that's in front of me. See the difference between my perspective and yours? You've been using all these students against a sensei. And I let you think whatever you want to think. Listen, you could think I'm a punk. Guess what? I'm not a thug. I don't have it to prove. A thug needs to prove it so that nobody else won't try to rob him. Because if you get considered a weak drug dealer or thug, then other people sense weakness and try to rob you. So you have to do stuff for reputational reasons. I'm not a thug. I don't have to do anything for reputational reasons. If that's a word. I don't have to play that game. I'm a soldier. When you make up stuff on me, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna take advantage of it. See, a thug won't think like that because that's not his game. He has to go out and clear his name and make a reputation of who he really is in different forms and fashions according to the contrast, right? According to what was said. He got to go out and contrast that, right? I don't. That's why I ain't do it. Because I'm not a thug. I don't have to fight for reputation. I don't have to fight for how people feel about me in the streets. I don't have to fight for that in order to sell drugs or do some other illegal crimes and be able to sell drugs on the block. You know, you got to keep up a reputation before or people will try to run you off, right? I don't have to play those games. If you say something about me that's not true, you see what the problem is? You see it, right? It's beautiful, right? If you saying all this stuff that's not true, you ain't gonna take me seriously. That's another thing you ain't gonna do. I'm gonna take full advantage of that. If you don't take me seriously and you think I'm some punk, you think I'm some pedophile, I'm gonna let you think all of that stuff. And guess what? Everybody is gonna be on my side as well. And not only is that going to work to my advantage to get under your radar for who I really am, that's also going to work to my advantage where now everybody's on my side. Now I don't even have to fight you because guess what? Everybody else wants to fight you. They hate you. They hate Freemasons now in America. They hate Illuminati now in America. And I know it. They hate you. So that's the art of war. Checkmate, buddy. That's how you do it. And I'm still winning. What make it so bad? 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 I'm still winning. And everybody hates you now. That's the art of war, buddy. You thought you was playing chess. Man, you playing checkers. You little punks. Listen, the problem with you is, listen, you're too arrogant to fight the art of war. You're too arrogant. I sit back and let you think whatever you want. I check people as a grown man now when I'm supposed to, and I'm going to get respect for that. So that works to my advantage. It's bringing back fruit to me when I check people. Because it's showing people who I really am as well. Oh, it's showing people what type of dude I really am. Right. So that works to my favor. Now, you do stuff that don't work to your favor. You do a lot of stuff that don't work to your favor. You thought arrogant was the way to be, but not when you're fighting war, buddy. The first person that run out there like Rambo is the first person that's dead. And I guarantee you that's the first thing they're going to tell you in the military. When you get on the battlefield, if you go out there like you Tom Cruise from Top Gun, or you act like you Tom Cruise or Rambo or whatever, Rocky, you Rocky too. You go out there like you're Rocky. Listen, you're gonna be the first person dead. You take precaution. You calculate your steps. You watch everything you do and don't do. And that's the difference. You thought the format was street justice, world star and hip hop. World Star, you thought this was World Star, didn't you? You little sucker. This ain't no World Star. Listen, I bet $15 that's what they was thinking in terms of World Star and culture stuff like that. And it ain't no way in the world how we know they could have been thinking that it was a war. Ain't no way in the world you would have been thinking it's a war, making all the mistakes you making. All the mistakes you making, ain't no way in the world you could have thought it was a war. You know what you thought it was? You thought it was World Star, didn't you? You thought it was World Star, didn't you? Say it like that. You thought it was World Star. This is a World Star Mall. This is the first World Star Mall. You thought this was a World Star Mall, didn't you? You thought this was a World Star Mall and you was getting street justice. Oh, you know that's who coined the term, I think. I think World Star coined the term street justice. I think so. But they probably were too stupid to trademark it. Listen, man, ain't that the truth? They probably were too stupid to trademark it. Listen, man, look, man, you can't get street justice with no profit, buddy. You can't get street justice with no soldier. That's your format, and we know it. How we know? You make too many mistakes for it to be military. It's too late for it. It's too late. You made too many mistakes. See, Sun Tzu taught this in The Art of War. The best soldier wins by making no mistakes. You ain't no soldier, buddy. You an ignorant, ratchet World Star fan. And you thought you would bring that format out here, and it didn't work. It didn't hold up. You came out here to the streets, talking to the streets in the format of World Star sipping tea information. That kind of energy. That's what it was. This World Star street justice energy, where you thought you was getting street justice on a pedophile, and it didn't work. I fought you with The Art of War, and I won. See where my mind was at, and that's why you lost. If I'm studying war, you gonna lose, man. That's that simple. If I study war and I activate war and I use war strategies, you gonna lose. Eventually. Because my mind is in that place. Where your mind at? Oh, we heard this about him, sitting around talking about what you heard. Nobody cares what you heard. It's about what you can prove. You learned that from training day. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. You couldn't prove it. In the words of Denzel Washington from Training Day, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. You think I'm stupid, buddy? It don't matter what you know. If you can't prove it, you done. And if you try to come out here playing with somebody and you just gonna do what you want to do, because even though you know you can't prove it, you're gonna be a casualty, buddy. And that's what happened to you. It ain't no mystery, not to me. You came out here on street justice and you know you ain't have no charges on me, and you still try to think you could do something to me and make me feel something for what you think I've done. But you couldn't prove it, and that's what didn't satisfy the people. What didn't satisfy the people is you couldn't prove this narrative like I'm some sex predator. You couldn't prove that narrative. That don't satisfy nobody. And then you keep playing games. What turned the streets against you is you, in the community of America against you, is you kept playing games when they told you to stop. That's why you lost them right there. See, you don't study The Art of War, buddy. You see what I'm saying? You don't play chess, you play checkers. You don't play spades, you play tunk. You play tunk, don't you? We play spades, you play tunk like a little kid. Three of a kind, that's what you play, three of a kind. Three of a kind. You play three of a kind in tunk, don't you? You play three of a kind in tunk. It's easy, it's simple, ain't it? Q, 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 I got 3 queens. Q, Q, Q. We play spades, buddy. You playing with grown men. You thought you had me sized up, buddy. Listen, some things don't matter. Money ain't everything. I can show you lanes that you gotta respect whether they got money or not. Another thing you did not do is that you did not know that you had to respect certain other lanes that ain't got no money. Virtuous lanes, lanes of good morals and heroic character. If you disrespect them lanes, you good as dead as well. You didn't know that because you were lame. You came out here thinking you could just disrespect somebody that you figured that was broke and played yourself. Malcolm X didn't have a job. You know that, right? Malcolm X didn't have a job. Go watch the last movie they put out about him, where him and MLK was in a movie together. What you would notice is they talk about, oh yeah, I've watched the relevant movies. That's one thing I caught up on. All the stuff that's going on. Watch the last movie they put out about MLK and Malcolm X, where Malcolm X makes it clear that he don't have a job, or somebody else saying, you don't even got a job. Malcolm X didn't have a job. Malcolm X didn't have $1 million. But his lane is still unchallenged. And people will kill you for a Malcolm X type of person. Okay, and he ain't got to have $1 million. So see, it's a different lane that commands respect that you didn't realize. That's preserved for certain people like me. Well, I don't have to have money. I influence the people differently than money. I influence the people with irregular, abnormal information about the Americans, just like the rest. With unique intellectual property that gains influence in the community. You're a fool, buddy. See, there's different lanes besides big dog sitting back eating chicken, big dog. Yeah, he get 30 wings and sit down and smoke him a Black and Mild and get 30 wings. If they ain't over here eating 30 wings and sitting back smoking Black and Milds, they ain't on our level. See, you think I gotta show up at these certain places that these big dogs gotta show up to. I don't gotta do none of that. I ain't gotta have none of the things they have. I'm in a lane similar to Malcolm X where I'm a command respect without money. Yeah, you see where I'm at? I command respect, and you waiting for me to do what you think a black big dog should do. With a big dog, I ain't got to do none of that. Malcolm X didn't have to do it. MLK didn't have to do it. That's a whole lane. See, won't y'all stop trying to act like it ain't nobody like them when that's a lane? Okay, it's one thing to say somebody's not like them. It's one thing to act like nobody can get in the lane of the same stuff they doing. That's just like sports and basketball. Okay, you can say it's nobody like LeBron, but you can't say nobody can't be in the lane and do the same thing and do other achievements that LeBron is not doing. Or let's just say you use Jordan and say nobody ain't like Michael Jordan. Okay, but you can't say nobody can't be in the lane that Michael Jordan was in. It's a big difference. You can't tell me I can't be in the lane that Malcolm X was in. That part. Oh, you can say, you see what I'm saying? You see the difference? You can say I'm not like Malcolm X or MLK, but all I need to do is be in my own lane, in that lane anyway. In my own lane within that lane. You got a road, all I need to be is on the road in my own lane, on that same road. That's all I got to do. I don't have to be MLK. MLK cheated on his wife. Some real men would discredit him for that reason. They would say, I would never respect a man that would cheat on his wife while she at home and he going all around the world talking about I have a dream and all this other stuff, but he having sex with another woman. And add all that comes with that. Penetrating another woman, orgasms with another woman. Add it all. Listen, some people don't like to think about the details. Orgasms with a whole nother woman. That part. Orgasms with a whole nother woman that's not your wife while your wife's sitting at home. Some people don't respect MLK. It's depending on who you talk to. See, we got all the real information. See, I knew before the movies came out that happened. I didn't get educated by the movies. I educated myself. Where I found out that Edgar Hoover, from the director of the FBI, sent the tapes to his wife where he was having sex with another woman. Edgar Hoover, which was a Freemason, a Shriner Freemason, perfect classic fight against Freemasons, because MLK, his whole family was Freemasons. His father, his grandfather was Freemasons. And they made him a Freemason after his death. MLK was made a free. If you don't know, what black people ain't talking about is that MLK was made a Freemason after his death. Oh, no, this ain't speculation. This is not conspiracy theory. He was made a Freemason after his death. They have a procedure called on-site where the Freemasons can make you a Freemason after your death. If he had not been assassinated at the Lorraine Motel, he would have went back and became a Freemason shortly after that. He was already getting ready to do it. That's the main reason probably why they went ahead and did it, because he was already going to do it. If he would have lived, you might not know this, if he would have lived, MLK would have become a Freemason. Think about that. Some will say, is that the reason why he got killed? Because now you join some wicked organization. Now you just went, you decide to do that. That's where your heart was at. Listen, that's food for thought. I'm just giving you things to think about as a grown man or woman. Because it's no doubt that if he would have survived after the Lorraine Motel situation, if he would have lived, he would have become a Freemason. They made him a Freemason after his death. Okay, did you know that? Okay, so he's technically a Freemason. And so with that being said, with Edgar Hoover, that was the director of the FBI, was also a Freemason, and I'm pretty sure he investigated MLK enough to know that MLK's dad and granddad was Freemasons. I'm pretty sure he investigated the family. Right along with investigating MLK, I'm pretty sure he did. So that was the classic case of Freemasons against Freemasons if you don't think it happens. Well, I'm sure that Edgar Hoover knew that his family was Freemasons and he did not care. And you wonder why people didn't make it. He came from Freemasons, buddy. MLK came from Freemasons. Now you know. You thought I was uneducated, buddy. The most known Freemason among black people was MLK. He was influenced by him. He was with his dad and his granddad. He was influenced by Freemasons. Okay, that's the one that was most influenced by Freemasonry. That's black. Malcolm X wasn't no Freemason. I'm not sure if Muslims respect any Freemasons. I'm not sure about that. But I know in Dubai, out in the country Dubai, you can't have, in the state of Dubai, if I'm saying that right. But let's just be safe. Out in Dubai, right, in the Middle East, Freemasonry is illegal. Did you know that? Oh, it's illegal. You can't go to Dubai and be a Freemason openly. Shriners, none of that stuff. It's illegal. You can go Google it right now. In fact, go Google all the countries where Freemasonry is illegal. Oh, in Dubai, it's illegal, man. You cannot be a Freemason openly, and you can't have none of that stuff going on over there. Okay? You can't have none of that stuff going on over there. Everybody don't agree with that stuff. Everybody don't feel that. Everybody don't agree with it, and everybody ain't got no love for it. Everybody ain't got no love for that. Some people do not respect MLK. That's one of my points. Some people don't respect him. You know what I'm saying? Based on, Like I said, cheating on his wife. Like some men don't cheat on their wives, you know, and they you know, they're real family men, and they feel like, you know, they take off like 30, 40 points, 30% of their respect, 30, 40% of their respect because of you know, cheating on your wife. When you at the top of the world like that, you supposed to hold down your wife. That's what a man of character would do. Right or wrong. So how far can you esteem him as a man of character? How far can you go with this perspective? See what I'm saying? But what I like to say is you can't take from him that he did get things done for black people. Your leaders will not be perfect, but you tried to make it seem like I would. But then I can show you the ones you respect the most that are not perfect, that were not perfect. Your problem is you expect your leaders to be perfect, but the ones you do respect were not perfect either. MLK wasn't perfect. He was cheating all on his wife and smoking and everything. But you can say he did get some things done for black people. He did get some things done. You can't take it from him. You know what I'm saying? But just when you go down into the logistics of who he was, you know what I'm saying, then now you're talking, you know, if you talk to educated people, a lot of people ain't trying to be like MLK because he cheated on his wife. You know what I'm saying? But because a person like that, that's a leader, that's a real big mistake. Yes, it is for family values. For family values and you know, what men respect. Yeah, you gotta agree with it. It's a big deal. You know, you can't come out here and talk about, you can't be esteemed as a man of honor. That's what that's most people will take away points of honor for stuff like that. Yeah. Keep in mind, we come from a society where you could actually get arrested for cheating for adultery. It's a crime. I mean, I think it still is a crime in some states of America. Here in America, it was considered a crime because you dedicated yourself to this person. You put your life in their hands, basically. You uprooted yourself from wherever you were, and you put yourself together with that person. I see why. That's real. You ain't a dog to kick out, and you know, and they can do what they want to do, and everything like that. And then what you supposed to do? People get sued for that. Yeah, I see why. If you put your life in somebody else's with somebody, that's, even though you got your part that you hold up, you putting their life in their hands. Your life is in their hands to a certain degree. Because you are on the same path of life as them. And they can just do whatever and jeopardize your whole situation. So I see why people sue people that do that. I see why. I see why they do that. So, you know, a lot of men, now that we're educated and humanity has begun to understand the people that we follow, because now with the internet we can really educate ourselves. A lot of people don't respect MLK for cheating on his wife while he was on the road. You don't feel sorry for her? She was out there thinking he was doing all good and everything. She got this champion of a husband, and you know, you don't feel sorry for her a little bit? She was smiling and thinking about him and everything, and he around there cheating with some other woman. And my thoughts is he probably had sex with more than one. Well, I think so. By the time they caught up with him and wired and checked and bugged his rooms, the motel room, that's probably after seeing him with a woman on other occasions. And they figured it out. We don't know how many times. I don't think it was one time. No, I think that the FBI seen something questionable, and then they went and did an investigation after that. Or, you know, think about it. I think most likely they probably did. Yep, times were more simpler back then. People did stuff like that. Sex was free. It wasn't no STDs, and not like now. Not like now. All you had to worry about is putting babies in the world, for the most part. It was a different land. It was a different lane. It was a different world, literally. as far as having sex with strangers. And so as you can imagine, people were more relaxed and more willing to cheat on their spouse and cheat on other people, because you ain't have to really worry about no real major life-threatening STDs. So it's just understanding, man. The people that you think is the best, everybody don't feel that way. Everybody don't feel that way, bro. With Malcolm X, a lot of people feel he was wrong. He contradicted himself by bringing black people problems to white people. Okay, well, yeah, because when he went on that one show with the white dude, and he was talking to the national community, the whole community, he was outing one of the Nation of Islam's leaders when he could have did that in private, but because he was mad, you know what I'm saying? You really never see Malcolm X mad, but he had a certain way of expressing it. So see, he was mad, so he went over, so he aired him out. He aired him out and went on the white man show, and that's a contradiction to all the philosophy of Malcolm X, which was we don't bring white people our problems to white people. But that's what he did. Malcolm X took a black man's problems, and then it was as serious as having sex with girls. Why would you take a problem to a white man and talk to him about it, and he can't do nothing about it? He can't fix and solve the problem. That was the major flaw for Malcolm X. It was a major flaw too, because that was part of the leadership that was over him in the Nation of Islam. And some people will say that's what got him killed because of that. Okay? And you can talk about all these other conspiracies, but I stay in the real world, and that seems like a place where people will want you dead. When you bring those problems to white America and the nation and the whole country know about the Nation of Islam's leader having sex with a teenage girl, that's probably what it was. But he took the problems and sat there with a white man. I can see if it was a black guy. He sat there with a white man and discussed black people problems with a white man, and that's a contradiction to a person that's always was talking about white America and what they doing to us. Then at the end of his legacy, he go talk to a white man about black man problems. Everybody contradict themselves. That's all that's part of it too. Everybody contradict themselves. It's just how hard you contradict yourself in life is what's going to matter. And that's what's going to show. That's what's going to determine your legacy. Everybody contradict themselves, but how hard you contradict yourself is your legacy. That's what it consists of. That's what's going to make it high quality or low quality. How hard you contradict yourself. So even after MLK did what cheated on his wife, he still had a decent legacy with what he did for black people and everything like that. But he still contradicted himself too. Malcolm X, I think Malcolm X's contradiction actually was worse because it was in the same lane of, it was in the same vicinity of what defined him, which was the Nation of Islam. He contradicted in his philosophies on black America and white America and how they interacted. Him going and talking about black people problems to a white man, that's a big contradiction for Malcolm X. That was sitting back talking about all this stuff about white America and all of this and the black man and everything, and then he go talk to a white man in front of him about black people problems. That's a major contradiction. His contradiction was worse. Even though I side with Malcolm X, I consider myself more of a student of Malcolm X. I'm not a student of MLK, but the truth is the truth. He contradicted himself. See, it's not a problem with telling the whole flaws of the truth and defining it as it is. It's what the problem is when people try to redefine the truth and try to make their own definition when you really know no matter what this other information is, it does not redefine this person. And see, so if you're not used to being Jedi mind tricked, you don't know that a person is trying to feed you certain information to change your perspective of this person. That's the only time I have problems with the truth is when you give half narratives. In other words, half truths, whole lies. Because you're putting things in, the lie is it's not the narrative that you're painting. You're giving me this information, but the narrative is not holding up with this information. Because when we see this person, this is who he really is. This is who he is. And that's all we're concerned about. That's all the system and the law and real judges of character is concerned about. Because if you really are like that, then these things can happen because of that. Because of your character. If we don't see it in your character, that's all we worried about. But there's certain other people that just stuck on trying to assassinate your character. That's all they're attempting to do. They already know what kind of person you are, most of them anyway. And that's all, you know what I'm saying? So I don't pay no attention to that. I know you ain't gonna never see me out here with no kids. You ain't gonna never see me with no teenage girls like the Malcolm X was talking about with the Nation of Islam. You know, and so, you know, and my thing is, even not only did Malcolm X contradict himself there, him being a student of information, you would have thought it would have been second nature for him to go and study the laws of Americans having sex with children themselves. Malcolm X was always a critic of America, right? So when he was outing one of the Nation of Islam's leaders for impregnating teenage girls, that was his argument. This has been an ongoing argument. Just in case you thought black people didn't address the issue of children and sexuality, Malcolm X was doing. That's what caused the conflict with Malcolm X in the Nation of Islam. He was talking about the main problem was the leader of the Nation of Islam impregnating teenage girls, which in history, most cultured historians know that most men had sex with teenage girls. Most humanity have sex with teenage girls. They're not going to wait till a girl is 25 years old. Like I would, but no, they ain't going to wait. These little cute girls and everything, they not going to wait till you turn 25. Most men going to feel like you going to already have sex by their age. And I'd rather get you now before you have sex with all these people. Especially, I mean, you could say the more time went on, the more people felt this way. I'd rather go ahead and have sex with you, get you now before you go out there into the world, especially a world like now. But, you know, there's certain people who, you know, they try to make their perspective universal, and you can't do it in America. You can't do it in humanity. I can show you throughout history where men had sex with girls all the time, you know. But when you hold me, the contradiction is when you hold me to a standard you don't live yourself. That's why I gotta shoot you down. I gotta shoot you down when you hold me to a standard that you don't uphold yourself. It's not that you doing it, it's that you upheld me to a standard like you wasn't doing it. That's the problem. You can't come out here saying you shouldn't do this, but you're doing it over here. That's when the war starts. It's not, oh, now we cool because I realize we doing it too. You started a war. You started a war by not realizing, being a dumb American. You know they dumb. They don't know their laws. They don't know nothing about their country. And yes, that's right. You ignorant. You came out here. You didn't even know your country was marrying children. Right? So when we found it out, a war happened. Not me and you cool and on the same side. No, we not on the same side, because I wouldn't have came out here against somebody if I didn't have charges on somebody. I would know me and you not the same type of person. Let's get that very understood. I would have never came out here against any human being not having my ducks in a row. I would have had my ducks in a row, which means I would have had evidence, credible evidence and receipts with testimony. Testimony ain't nothing in 2026. You can get 1 million people talking about one thing, and it's not gonna be nothing if you ain't got no evidence and you ain't got no evidence and receipts. Evidence and receipts is everything in 2026. You can't come out here like we in 1972 without any with testimony, just testimony. That's the 60s, the 50s. People are corrupt. They do things for different reasons. You would think I wouldn't have to tell people who think they so enlightened and smart that people come out here for different reasons and use the law system and the authorities against people for different reasons. That's all it's about. That's why we can't just use testimony or whole credible testimony, even when we hear it, without receipts and evidence. Because in the perfect case of this is the case of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, right? Now, I believe Amber Heard was lying, right? I just do. And but I believe Johnny Depp was not perfect. But I don't think that it was in the context of what Amber Heard was talking about. But somebody was lying, right? Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, we live in a post Johnny Depp and Amber Heard world, because this court case redefined the perspective that I have and many people have on mere testimony. Those two high profile people came up there with testimony, but in their case it was not a lot of, it was no pictures, a lot of pictures and evidence behind their testimony. This is why this is a perfect case of the shift and pivotal turn between a world of testimony and how credible it is versus evidence and receipts. Now we're in the world of evidence and receipts. We're in post Johnny Depp and Amber Heard world, where you gotta have receipts, and it's because people lie. People get up there and lie. Between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, somebody was lying. Okay, and the reason why we wasn't able to dissect who was lying was a lack of evidence, right? Right. But somebody was up there and you didn't know what to believe. And when it comes to that point, testimony is no good. Testimony ain't nothing in 2026. You in a post Johnny Depp and Amber Heard court session world, where we ain't going by no testimony no more. You gotta go, but you gotta have credible evidence and receipts in a world like this, with phones, screenshots, and everything like that. You can't just say somebody did something. Ain't that it's not gonna be credible. See, you live in a world like the 70s and the 60s. If somebody just say something, you go run and drink. That's like the 60s. Because now, I mean, even you can use Michael Jackson's case with the kids. Once we found out one of the kids said that it didn't happen, and they family forced him and coerced him to say that, it was over. That's another example. Once we seen that somebody would take something like sexual abuse and use it for money and gain, we can no longer trust testimony culturally as far as worldview and perspective. No matter how it sounds and how good it sounds or how credible it sounds, it doesn't matter. At some point, that same kid got under the radar to the point where he was taken seriously based on testimony. And then one of the kids said it didn't even happen. And that's what threw a monkey wrench in the whole situation, the credibility of the whole situation. And so, see, I know what I'm doing, and you don't, buddy. You don't consider all the elements in your surroundings. You just zeroed in on psychological gains. You didn't even consider that you still need receipts and evidence. You can't come out here talking about what you heard me thinking about. You can't come out here talking about what you heard in my mind psychologically. You a clown. That will never catch on. Because we live in a world now where evidence and tangibility is more prominent than ever before through AI and all the different stuff. It's a more tangible technology world, right? It's a more technological world of technology and tangible things, right? So you got to have evidence when it comes to even a criminal situation. That applies. The tangibility of things apply more than ever before. Which means if you don't make this tangible to people, you see what I'm saying? You ain't getting nowhere with that psychological stuff. See, what you thought you was doing was being futuristic, but you're not. Because futuristic is always going to be complementing of the tangible things. It's going to be complementing of the tangibility of things. If you don't have nothing tangible and you think that you're being futuristic and innovative with this psychological formation that you got against me, listen, buddy, you a clown, bruh. You a clown, because everybody going to come back to the real world and what happens in the real world, sucker. And if you don't find no way to connect what you thinking about or what you heard or your information to the real world like I have. See, I connected my information to the real world. With y'all marrying children. That's me connecting my perspective that y'all pedophiles with the real world. That's how you do it, sucker. I connected it to the real tangible world where you can Google this information literally on the internet, and you can see the laws of marrying children in America. You couldn't do that. You can't do what I do. Ain't nobody holding that credible what you hear in our minds. So what? What you gonna prove it? How you gonna prove that? I'm keeping it 100. How you gonna prove it? How you gonna make a whole community believe that? No, listen, man. How you gonna make people think that anything is going on top of that? Yeah, like what's going on then? What's going on then? What's going on then? Ain't nothing going on then, is it? That's what we talking about, sucker. That's what we talking about, man. You know what I'm saying? So see, I can show y'all what's going on. Oh, you're marrying children, that's going on. Oh, that's tangible. I can pull that up for people to see. You can't pull nothing up for nobody to see, can you? You a sucker, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's the difference between you and I. You understand? I know what I'm doing. You don't. I can define what I'm doing. I can define the difference between me and you and what I'm doing and what you're doing. And show you what you're doing and what I'm doing. And that's the difference. And you can sit here and believe you could be right, but you couldn't prove it. And that's the only game that we play in the real world. What can you prove? And if you can't prove it, buddy, I'm sorry to tell you. All that psychological mumbo jumbo, listen, all you're going to do is get killed for it. That's all. Because people tired of you playing with me. And you ain't got no charges on me. People tired of it. Okay? And I got tangible stuff on your community. And I get up every day on this. I'm a soldier every day. Not when it looks cool on a Saturday night. I'm a soldier every day, bro. Not when I'm trying to hang out at the malt shops on a Saturday night. You hanging out at the malt shops, ain't you? M-A-L-T, the malt shops. You hanging out at the malt shops, ain't you? Remember the malt shops in the 60s and 50s? You would look like a soldier at the malt shops on a Saturday night. That's what I'm saying, bro. And I got a sense of humor like most good boss senseis, tough senseis do. I'm kicking you around with a sense of humor. That's what a sensei do. Not only am I kicking you around, I'm kicking you around with a sense of humor, punk. That's the difference between me and you. We do not no longer care about no psychological stuff because now we know you're doing it. Who's going to honor that? Who's going to honor that when we know you playing games around people's heads? That's what I'm saying. You see, this is the things you did not consider. The game you play, right? It's not going to be credible because people know you playing around people's head. With sitting around trying to see who they are, you playing around their heads at the same time. That's how I got thrown out, buddy. That's 7 out. Nah, it would have been different if you would have sat back. You didn't sit back. You were proactive about putting thoughts and images in our minds. Wasn't you? Yes, you was. That throws it all out, buddy. See how stupid you are? If you was really trying to catch something on our mind as far as pedophilia, you should have just sat back. You didn't do that. You became desperate, and how we know you did it for sure because you became desperate, and it's obvious that you're desperate. In your desperation to win, you begin to play psychological wizardry like a wizard. You begin to throw images against our minds and words and suggestions as wizards against us to incriminate us intellectually as pedophiles. Now back to Malcolm X. When Malcolm X, the another place where Malcolm X fumbled was when Malcolm X went back to the Nation of Islam. When he talked about the Nation of Islam, one of the leaders impregnating teenage girls. Like I said, some men do not want to accept that this is how it's been throughout humanity. Men are not going to wait till a girl is 18. In certain worlds, they not. And they not going to wait till she's 35 when she ain't got no walls on her vagina. Okay, so then Nobody's gonna wait till she got to her walls or beat off her vagina and then take. Who want that? Who's gonna do that? You wouldn't even do that. So then you gotta be reasonable when you with this understanding. You're not gonna wait till a woman has her walls beat off her vagina and then you want to have sex with her. That's how you know I'm a man in the real world. Ain't nobody gonna wait till your walls is beat off your vagina and now I want to be with you. Once you have a child, your vagina ain't gonna never be the same. It ain't gonna never be the same. Women have 2 or 3 children. I mean, you know, it ain't gonna be the same. I'm not saying it's gonna be totally not good, but it ain't gonna be like a female that still got her walls on her vagina. And you can do Kegels and all of that. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm cultured. You can do Kegels while you're urinating and all of that. I know about all of that. But you're not going to have the same quality of vaginal walls once you have children and once you have sex with too many people. It's not going to ever be the same. It can tighten up, but it's not going to be the same. Tightening up is different from a wall. Tightening up with walls beat off is not the same as tight with walls. A vagina that is tight, it can get tight after 3 months, but the walls ain't gonna never be the same. Listen, I'm talking like a real man, buddy. I'm talking about. So then, real men that understand this, that don't feel crazy for thinking about this. Okay, so then what you gonna choose? A woman with her walls beat off? No, you gonna choose a woman a female that her vagina is still gripping your penis when you put it in. Some men don't even know vagina can be that good, where it's actually gripping your vagina, your penis. That's what it's supposed to do. The reason why it's not doing that is because the walls is beat off. Once the walls beat off, you ain't gonna have no vagina gripping over no penis. You don't even know what that feels like. And I'm keeping real. I don't really know what it feels like. Because most of the women we was with, man, I mean, who knows, man, what they've been, who knows what they've been doing. Even if they say they virgins, man, do you really, I don't know, man. They might have did other stuff with other people, man. They say they're virgins, but they did stuff with other people. Maybe family. Oh, maybe her walls aren't that grippy because she had sex with her family. Oh, you don't want to admit that, do you? You don't want to admit it. Oh, she said she a virgin, but she ain't counting the part where she had sex with her cousins. That's why she ain't got no hymen. That's why when you had sex with her, she didn't bleed, because she already popped her cherry with her cousins. Oh, once the cherry's popped, buddy. She told you she was a virgin, then why you ain't pop her cherry? Why, in other words, why you didn't break her hymen? Right? You didn't do it because it was already broken by her cousins. Or she already did it masturbating so much that she popped her own cherry. I'm just letting you know. We don't care about psychological stuff. I don't care nothing about that. I'm talking about stuff that you ain't man enough, or you too gay to talk about. You too gay to talk about this stuff, ain't you? You too much of a tranny to talk about what I'm talking about. Listen, can you imagine a tranny talking about this? You can't talk about it, buddy. You can't talk about it. So most men are not going to choose. They're going to base things on that. Choosing a woman, that still has her hymen if you're lucky. If you're not that lucky, you're going to get as close as you can to a vagina that has its walls. It still has its walls. It still has its walls, right? So with that being said, man, you ain't going to find nobody, most men universally, globally, worldwide, that really choose a girl that's like 20 years old, 22, 23, 24, especially these days that we live in, especially if you're in a Muslim country and it's outside of a Muslim country and she can just have sex with whoever she wants. Who's going to wait till she's 25? I would. That's me. That's my personal preference. But, because I like cultured women. I like a woman that's more than a body. So you ain't gonna be too cultured until you get in your mid-20s. Now you know what you like. You know what you like to drink. You got preferences. Now you can talk about who you are. You can show. You can reflect who you are. You can project who you are. But under that, you still getting to know yourself and everything, right? So that's for me. But it's some men, they don't, in their value system, they don't really care about a cultured woman, female. They feel like they'll do all of that. See? So, but for those who are not like me, they're going to think that, they're going to think in terms of sex more than anything else. And why I'm going to choose a girl that by 25, she's probably had at least 3 solid relationships, sexual relationships. At least 3, right? That's about right. At least 3 serious sexual relationships. Most men gonna shoot for that reason. Most men, that's the real reason. It's not just, see that part? It's not just that she's young. It's that I don't want a worn out vagina. So how I'm gonna do it? How I'm gonna avoid this? I gotta get, no pun intended, as close to the sweet spot to where she's old enough. But she has not interacted with all these men. Where now she don't have no walls on her vagina. Okay, so then that's how you got to go about it. Okay, listen, man. I don't conform to telepathy and psychic worlds. I don't care. People act like they listen, man. It's some people that have lost their mind, bro. And I don't care what it is, what they talking about. I know what I think. I know where my mind is at. You know what I'm saying? I don't let my mind stray from the real world. See, you might think because I'm spiritual, you can tell. I don't let my mind stray from the real world. Look what they do. Look at how that's all I'm telling you this. This is all they do is psychological stuff. That's what I'm trying to show you. They'll whip that around a million different type of ways, and then they'll do more and more crazy thinking and crazy images and more crazy stuff because that's all they can do. That's why we don't pay attention to it altogether, and it don't matter what comes with it. I challenge the man that will say anything to me. I say, look, man, I know the difference between my thoughts and these people, and if you ain't never been through it, if you don't know what you're talking about, man, listen. How could you be a judge over what's going on over here with me? I don't fear nobody. I'm a grown man. I don't see, you fear celebrities and thugs and gangsters. I don't. Because I don't fear death, right? So then I talk from the heart as a man. The main reason you use those people because you're scared of those people. I'm not. That's just another human being to me. I'm not scared of none of these people. So then you can't manipulate me like this person is some bigger than life person anymore. I'm going to think in terms of my position and what I do and I don't do. And I'm going to talk about rules and regulations, and I'm going to be in the real world about it. And that's that. That's it. The only reason you even using them people because you scared of them, and I'm not. So see how cartoon that is. And I'm going to just apply the same rules and regulations. I'm going to apply the same real world stuff where I know it's what I think and I know what you're doing. And you can't get me into no world thinking about stuff like that. Now you got to live with all that stuff that you put out. Because while you might think that you're testing people, what you're doing is projecting. We equate with putting these images out against people's mind as you being a pedophile yourself. That's how we start. That's the charge I put on it, because it's not something that we're thinking. It's something that you're thinking, right? So then, you see what I'm saying? That has to be equated to something similar to a pedophile mindset, because you're putting images of children in people's minds, and we know that's what you're doing. We equate that to being basically the cousin of pedophilia. That's how we look at it. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you can't throw stuff out and say you testing people. No, you thinking dirty, weird, crazy things, and we have to, with you thinking those things, to put it out, you have to think it, right? For you to do that, however, by any means you do it, we have to equate that to the cousin of pedophilia. And see, that's how smart I am. Now we charging you with it. It don't bother me because I know where my mind is at. It don't bother me one day of the week. And how long we done been through it. We done been through it so long. You think at one day you gonna wake up and beat us? It's just an impossibility for us to perceive it that way. Because we done beat it so many times, we know who we really are. Right? If you beat something psychological with children, where they put children in your mind in a crazy way, right? If you beat that more than 10, 100 times, how you gonna one day think that you're a pedophile because somehow they got something through your mind? You gonna see too many other times that define who you are. Too many other times it's gonna define how you really think, right? So that basically sums that up. It's just a Jedi mind trick, a wizardry at best, but it doesn't define your desire system or who you are. And all it's doing is putting them in a position that where it makes them look like pedophiles. And I mean, it's in the world. To me, I mean, the people that got this mania about that, it's in the world. It's always been in the world. It's always been here. I don't care about it no more. I mean, I look at it like a cultured man. I mean, it's just like I said. I know man is gonna choose a woman that got 3 kids already. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no walls on that vagina. Ain't no man I know in their right mind. Besides even the vagina part, the heart of a woman that has been in love more than one time. Who want to be with somebody that's been in love with other people? Because as the vagina was penetrated, the heart was penetrated. If she loved another man, that's just the same effect that it is on no walls on the vagina. It's the same thing. She could love you, but she was in love with the first love is different. The first love is way different. It's never the first. Like Sade say, it's never as good as the first time, man. Because you love from the heart and the soul and the mind from a whole different place. Sade say it's never on her song. It's never as good as the first time. Somebody that's been married, no, that's not even talking about just sex. That's talking about love. Love is never as good as it was on the first time. You can fall in love, you can have a great life, and that could be beautiful. But falling in love, if she done fell in love with 2 or 3 different people, and then you with her now, it's not gonna be the same. It's not. Those people she can never get out of her mind. She can never get those people out of her mind. You always gonna remember, like, even though you suppress it and you might not have it to the forefront of your mind, you still gonna remember. That's how powerful the mind is. You still gonna remember everything you done with another woman. You know what I'm saying? Or she gonna remember everything she did with another dude. So then, once again, these are things men consider, and they are not going to choose somebody that done fell in love 3 times. She done got 3 kids. So then there's an innocence with choosing a younger mate to avoid those things. There's an innocent approach to say, I don't want a woman that got her vaginal walls beat off. And I don't want a woman that done fell in love 3 times. And I'm just sitting around with this woman that done fell in love with 3 other guys. So then you're forced to realize love was designed from the beginning. Love, we do it in different stages of life, but love is designed, marriage is designed to be with someone that's beginning their life, which means they obviously got to be young. Love ain't designed to be with somebody and y'all can't even have kids. What if she got her tubes tied or whatever? What if she got her tubes tied? What if she can't, what if she got her tubes tied, or the dude, he got a disectomy, right? Where he can't have kids. And he decided to do that somewhere in his life. If I'm using the right term, So then you're forced to choose someone before those things happen, man. Before those decisions happen, and you're gonna find that to be more when people are young. So you got to use wisdom with understanding all of this. Some people is not after just young per se. They after a young experience. And it's a big difference. A young experience where you just starting out, where you ain't got no kids. Men usually want no woman with kids. Now it takes a real man to embrace somebody else's kids. I respect it, but let's be reasonable. Most men don't want no woman with some kids for somebody else. That's just the truth. That's just like women don't want no broke man. You know what the equivalent of that is for us? We don't want a woman with kids. Nope. Most of us don't, unless we already if we want a family, and we have a chance to raise kids, and now we want to raise kids at a young age, and it's a good opportunity to be a father and experience that, But if not that, who want a woman that got kids already? Which means she done been in love, she done had all kind of beautiful days with some other dude. Who gonna embrace that wholeheartedly? So then you gotta be within reason. If you're a cultured person, to realize, okay, within reason, man, ain't nobody gonna choose no person that's just been out there and all in the world. You know what I'm saying? Come on. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying it can't be done and you can't have a great relationship. But most people, add the average situation, man, it's just not gonna be remarkable when that's the case, and they got 3 kids and they've been married, they've been with somebody over 2 or 3, they had 3, 4, 5 serious relationships. Nah, that's cool, man. See, just like a woman don't want a man that ain't got no money. That's their biggest hang up right there. Most women gonna ask you, okay, what you do for a living? Boom. She already done threw it out there. You know what ours is? You know what we ask? How many kids you got? Do you got any kids? That's our deal breaker. She got some kids? Nah. Because that also means that another man is gonna be around. Let's say it's a good father, even though even though they're not together. Now you gotta deal that part. Now you gotta deal with this other guy for the rest of your life. He's gonna always be around. And also he's always going to be around with your wife, and you in some cases they wind up having sex together again. When you and her fall off, she gonna have sex with the baby daddy, and they just pleasuring each other and confiding in each other in a hard time. That's how they gonna look at it, and they ain't gonna look at it no more. And he ain't gonna want your woman. He gonna say, yo, you need to be with your woman. He might even tell you that. And you'll be like, really, bro? After y'all done had sex? Some dudes trying to tell a dude to be with his baby mother because the sex that they had was really nothing. They were just confiding in each other. And some people see sex like that, but some people don't. Some people don't see it as that simple. Because you break oaths, you break loyalty. You break that too, right along with the sex. So no matter what the sex is, if you gave somebody your word and you broke it, that's what the problem is too. It's not just the sex. It's the breaching of a contract. It's the breach of contract. It's the breach of contract. So, women out here, man, they want somebody that has financial stability. That's their main thing. If you got that, you can about have most of these women. With men, our deal breaker is you got kids. You got kids. Because now this guy's going to be around. This other dude, you got to deal with that. He going to be around. Then, he might flex on you like he might insinuate that he had her first and all of that. You got to deal with all of that stuff, man. You marry into him too. You basically have a relationship with him too. And if he's a jerk, he gonna always be insinuating that he had her first. What if you got to deal with that your whole life? Well, you got this girl, this female that you're in love with, but her baby daddy is always insinuating that he had her first, and ain't nothing you can do about it. If he fights you just right, ain't nothing you can do about that. And you got to deal with that kind of energy. You see what I'm saying? So this is what men ponder. This is what real men think about. I don't really want a woman with kids. That's my main thing. If she don't got no money, I'll take care of her. You know what I'm saying? This is how a man is supposed to think anyway. right? So it's not a matter of finances, because my position is to be a person to take care of you, a provider, right? Most men that got a good heart want to be a provider, even if they can't be, right? So then I'm not worried about finances, because I'll take care of you until you decide what you really want to do in your life. That's how most men are, right? Okay, so our deal breaker is not going to be money, because I'm going to be the provider. The deal breaker is going to be kids, and with parents, and with, and don't have kids by more than one dude. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, bruh. Oh no. 2-3 dudes around like it's a committee. Nah. And see, these bad females, these divas, that's what they got going on. They got all their baby daddies together, and they all talking together, and they probably try to do some little cool stuff together. But I'm not trying. I could never be that guy. I could never be that guy who's sitting around with 2 or 3 other dudes, cause it's almost like a flex for her. She got these dudes around talking and everything, and they all done been. You see what I'm saying? And it's almost like this reverence for her and this praise to her in some weird, strange way. And see how that pulls out different dynamics and different things, and it pulls out different dynamics that you shouldn't even be encountering, and different people in your life and walks of life. It's like a whole different walk of life. You know what I'm saying? That's like a whole different walk of life from a married life. You got to deal with all these dudes and everything. Nah, that's what I'm saying. Nah. See, that's how we feel. So most real men gonna tell you that's a deal breaker when they got kids. You know what I'm saying? You can say, man, if she didn't have kids, how many times have you said that? If she didn't have kids, man. So some men embrace that. It's different types of guys. They don't mind being there and being a parent to their companion's kids and their wife's kids before that marriage. They don't mind being that person. And I respect that. It takes manhood to do it, but it's just not something that a man is required to do. Nor should he aspire to do it. I don't know any men aspiring to do that unless they don't have any kids and they want to raise kids and they want to experience being a father in their life. In that case, okay, I could understand that, but I don't know any man that aspired to have a woman with 3 or 4 or 5 kids. Yeah, that's why for me, that's why I can talk about manhood. I can talk about real things. This shows you where I'm at. Ain't no way you can make this kind of stuff up. You either are like this or you're not. You're either this type of person or you're not. You know what I'm saying? I can show you who I am. I can articulate myself. And that's all you can do. If somebody want to challenge you after you have made yourself clear and people can see clearly who you are, and then that, to me, like I've said over and over again, that's a person who think you a punk. That's it. It ain't because anybody else, they gonna hear these things and say, oh, okay, that's a normal guy. But because they think you a punk, they gonna challenge you besides what you're saying. Besides what you're saying, that show you who you are, they gonna challenge you besides that. That tells you they're jealous of you, they think you a punk, and you gotta go to war about it. And that's it. That's all. You got to go to war about it. It's not a matter of what I am and who I proved who I am and what I do. I just proved it again. I prove it all the time. So it's not a matter of that. You see what I'm saying? It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of people thinking you a punk or somebody to play with, because if it was somebody else they were scared of, they wouldn't be doing that. And once they heard you was cool, they will fall back because they glad to be done with the war, right? They glad to be done with it. When you see them keep challenging you, that means they think you a punk. That's what it is. Because I know for sure, if it was somebody else, you will be glad it's over. You'll be glad this person is normal. And even if you don't know if you believe it, you'll be glad he's showing signs of being a normal person with normal understanding. But because you're jealous or you think you're me or whatever you think, right? Listen, man, I told you to your face, as an American community, I can live with anything that crosses my mind. I want to make that very clear. I want to make that super clear. To just destroy your whole game, your whole lame game. I can live with anything that crosses my mind. You understand? That means I don't care how dirty it is, how crazy it is. I don't care what it is. I don't live to be perfect. Okay? Because see, that's the zone that it will make it, you start thinking in terms of. I don't live in I'm not perfect. I don't live to think I'm going to be perfect. It's too late for that. So you begin to learn to accept yourself on imperfect terms. That's what a real man learns to do. Even in relationships, you make mistakes. You got to forgive yourself for the things you've done to females, things you've said to females and all that stuff. You got to forgive yourself and move on. So a grown man comes to terms with being human. Being a human being. And last time I checked, ain't nobody got a perfect brain. You got a perfect brain? Nobody do. So that's what settles it too. Because when I tell you, me and you don't have a perfect brain, right? Okay, so then when it's all said and done, no one has a perfect mind, right? So that means your mind is not perfect. Your thoughts are not perfect, right? You have perfect thoughts. No one does. So where they're challenging us, we win because all we gotta show is no one has a perfect brain. No, it doesn't mean you're deformed. It means you're human. And some people can't accept their humanity. Some people like them are crazy, these secret society people, because they can't accept their humanity. They're bugged out on their own humanity. Because you realize you're not perfect. You realize you have imperfect thoughts and you can't live with it. Because maybe you was a dweeb your whole life and you thought you was good your whole life, but you never was. But you was obsessed with being perfect or good, right? I'm not obsessed with being perfect or good. I'm a righteous person through Christ Jesus, but I'm not obsessed with I'm not obsessing over my imperfections. This is how a grown man gonna tell you. I'm not obsessing about my imperfections. Now, most of you gay people are boys in your intellect. That's why me and you don't see eye to eye with each other. So you don't even think like real men think. Let's keep it real. Trannies don't think like a real man as a tranny. Because you just don't. Okay, let's keep it real. You don't. Okay, so it's what it is. Okay, so for me as a man, I have learned to accept my imperfections as a man, as a leader, which we can be overbearing in a masculine position, right? You have to, even with that being said, it's things about a man where you gonna create things that are imperfect through being a man because of your masculinity, your ego. You gonna make mistakes that with a masculine ego that a gay guy wouldn't have. He gonna bow down when stuff like this happen. I'm not gonna bow down because I'm a man. I don't supposed to bow down to any psychological things. If somebody playing something that's psychological in nature, I'm willing to die to fight you. And if you a punk, then me and you ain't gonna fight. You know what I'm saying? But other than letting you challenge me over and over again, I just rather fight you. That's what I'm saying. So if we ain't gonna fight, then I'm gonna just ignore you, and I ain't gonna care what you talking about, and you can do whatever, and you can think whatever, long as you know I'm ready at any time for any of these secret society and Freemasons people. Long as you know I'm ready for you. Listen, that's all you gotta know. That's all you gotta know. But see, that's how a real man is built. I'm not gonna sit up and play games and like I'm your child and I'm subject to your opinion. It don't work like that. See, that's how white people been playing over black people this whole time. Like we children, like I'm subject to you, like your opinion matters more than mine about myself. My opinion matters, and I know how I think, and I know what I choose to think about. You know what I'm saying? So when you come over here and play in my lane, just consider, man, I don't even care about that. I don't. It don't make me a bad person either, because the Jedi, the intelligent person knows that it doesn't concern me anyway. So I'm just, ultimately it doesn't concern me. I already know what who I am. Okay, so whatever you doing don't concern me, so I don't care if you think I'm a bad person by dismissing it. I dismiss it and I don't care because it don't concern me. I know I'm the opposite of whatever you're doing, and that don't concern me, and I don't feel bad that because you talking about children and I dismiss it. I don't feel bad about that because I know that don't concern me at all. What you talking about? It don't concern me and how I think. So then I don't feel bad on the subject of dismissing it because it's about children. No, I don't, because it has nothing to do with me. So I'm mature enough to know, even though you're trying to manipulate subject matter, it still don't have nothing to do with me. So I'm gonna have a certain attitude about it. That somebody else might think, well, I'm gonna be nice because they talking about children. I don't care what they talking about. I'm gonna be a man about it and say it ain't got nothing to do with me. And if anybody wants smoke, I got weapons. It's that simple. And that's how a real man should conduct himself. Now see, homosexuals get stepped on. These homosexuals get stepped on. These trannies get stepped on. I seen it. They mistreat each other in the American community. They mistreat each other. All they own people. They step on each other. I seen it. Okay, so then they think they can do that to you. They don't know me. You can't. I got manhood, buddy. You can't step on me. I could care less. I can live with everything that crosses my mind. And see, that's how you beat them. That's what the general going to tell you in this psychological war. If you got to be like Sun Tzu said, I do not care about being. I am not sensitive in my honor. I am not delicate in my honor. That's all you got to do is beat the psychological. You got to come to terms with the fact that your mind is not perfect, right? You don't have perfect thoughts. I don't know anybody down here who has perfect thoughts. Okay, so anybody saying anything else, even though you're not a pedophile, you don't have no perfect thoughts, right? That's where it gets tricky, right? But you're not a pedophile. But do you have perfect thoughts? No, you don't. So then you equate everything. You judge every man by reality. That's what you judge every man by. You judge every man by reality, and reality triumphs over psychology. Over psychological war, reality triumphs over any psychological formation of war. It can't win with reality. Reality is you ain't doing nothing, right? Okay, you win. But you gotta be tough. Like the song say, you gotta be tough, you gotta be cool, you gotta be stronger. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be tough enough to say, whatever it is, I don't care. I know what I do and I don't do. I know what I see. This is what a real one gonna conclude. I know with the psychological wars. I know what I do and I don't do in my bedroom. Okay, so then that's all that matters. Humanity is not bothered by my thoughts, are they? No. Is humanity bothered by your thoughts? Is humanity in threat for what you think? If you thought thoughts against children, is that gonna harm any child? It's not, is it? Okay, so then how far do we judge that? You see what I'm saying? How far do we judge that? And if anybody was, I'm going to say, listen, God going to take care of that person anyway. That's how I look at it. It's not for me to do anything. If it's in the psychological realm, if I even think somebody's doing that, okay, well, God's going to take care of that person. See, some people don't have faith in God. You got to remember that. If you got faith in God, you know God going to handle any of that anyway, right? God gonna handle any of that anyway. So that's just what it is. If it ain't physical, God gonna handle whatever else is going on with people. And that includes these people that's playing psychological games. God is gonna take care of that. Cause see, that's how they bounce around with that psychological stuff. How we beat that is, listen, man, whatever they doing, God gonna tear them apart, bro. They think they're getting away with it, but they're not. And we ain't showing no love at all, bro. Like, you got to tell them not to come back. They telling you not to come back. You tell Freemasons and Illuminati, don't come back. When you find that I'm a good person and when I always weather these things and you see me, my energy rise up above everything you tried to do, don't come back to me. That's how you shut it down, too, because they going to kiss your butt when you high ranking. Even them, even Freemasons and these psychics and all these people, they going to kiss your butt when you outrank them. And they going to find that out very quickly. They're going to find that out very quickly. And when they play with you and they come back to kiss your butt, listen, buddy, you tell them don't come back. Don't come back, buddy. Because I've already weathered everything that's been done. You trying to stay relevant, but you can't. You barely hanging on, ain't you? Listen, man, all these people barely hanging on. They barely hanging on. Reality is It's $4 a gallon of gas. Reality is World War III is almost on the horizon. America is fighting Iran. This isn't excuses. This isn't sidesteps or Jedi mind trick. This is reality. And it's going to affect, it's already affecting your reality. It's going to affect your reality even more. How it's affecting your reality right now is $4 a gallon of gas, which I equated to come out to be, for the average cars to the most cars, $48 to $100 a gallon to fill up the tanks. To fill up a tank in America is 48 right now. If you're paying $4 a gallon, it's about $48 to $100, and if it's lower than that, it's like $3 something. That's gonna be probably what? Well, I would say about $38 to $90. About $38 to $90 to fill up a tank. But you might as well say $40 on the average. About $40 on the average to fill up a tank, man. And for some people, that's a little food for a week. So that's food. You got to pick between food or driving the car. But you know what some people going to start doing? Catching the bus. They're going to start catching the bus. Or getting rides from people that can afford to fill up them tanks. People that can afford to pay for that gas. But see, we already in the vicinity of a whole nother level in the world. And that's why we got to start now facing psychology, facing psychological games, facing the fact that you're not perfect. Come to terms with it. Self-love is coming to terms with the fact that you're not perfect. You accept that. Right? Me, I don't have a problem with it because I grew up kind of like a bad kid. So a bad kid comes to terms with the fact that people think he's a bad person. I don't struggle with it. I don't struggle with being a bad person. So I just don't. See, the only way that works is that you struggle with being a bad person. If they put these thoughts across your mind and you feel like you're a bad person because of it, you're going to want to die. You're going to be suicidal. Me, it don't work. It don't work on me because I don't care about being a bad person. I'm a good person. I'm a righteous person, but I'm not a nice person where I would care so much about something crossing my mind. I'm not going to care about that. I'm not going to care what it is. And obviously it's you. So then there we go. You're just trying a new trick every day, flipping it around, but see, it's the same trick. It's the same one trick pony method. So that's why we just realize, man, they do the same thing over and over again, trying to trigger and everything like that. That's not our equals, man. Those people are not our equals. And that's what I'm trying to show you. They're not your equal. They're not my equal at all. The bottom line is this. The conclusion is this. This world is ending. The mentality of the people has changed no matter what happens. And everything that happens changes the people from this point. All this stuff that's happening is changing the minds of the people every single time. I don't know about past generations, but these generations that's in America is changed by all these events that's happening. And you can feel it. The whole vibration of the people changed. Now, back in the day, they might have been a little stronger where that stuff don't change their opinion and it don't affect them. They don't bug out. These generations of people, they changing with all the stuff that's happening. That's a whole different conversation. I'm going to make a conversation about that. You know, they changing with everything that happens. They're not holding on. Soon as something happened, this war, you can feel the whole energy, everything changes. And you could say that's a matter of being weak people or smart people. I think part of it is being smart because you can see where the world is going. But either way it goes, whether because the past generations wasn't as smart as we was, that's facts. We can kind of see for ourselves where this is going better than the past generation. So that's the reason why some people change. That's why everybody's changing with the changes that happen with these events, where in the past people just hold on and think America go work it out. But we don't trust in America like the past generations. So we know that something is going to happen real drastically. And do we know what it is? No, we don't. But the energy of the people have changed and it's not going backwards. We're not going backwards. Let's just settle this. We're not going back to a world before COVID. This is post-COVID world. This is post-COVID. This is post-coronavirus world. right? People forgot already because they goofy. They teenagers in their brains. This is a post-coronavirus world we live in. And if you don't know, right here in America, people are still dying from COVID-19 every day. Every day. It's just not as many people where they feel like it's newsworthy, and because it's not a lot of people, they rather not talk about it rather than raise fears in the minds of the people. They rather not just tell you like an innovative news outlet would how many people still dying from COVID. Just drop it, just give you the information and let you do what you want to do with it. But instead of doing that, they rather just calm your fears that it's not really out there no more. That it's not really that bad, but people still dying. You can go Google it right now. How many people die from COVID each week? How many people die from COVID each week? I think it was like 700, if I'm not mistaken. Nationwide, people still die from COVID every week. But it's hundreds of people that die from COVID. Still right here in America. But it's mostly older people. But it's people. And those are milestones for families. You know, these are pillars of family. Old people are pillars for families. So people are losing their pillars of their families in America, and nobody's still talking about that. So coach, you know, they ain't talking about it. COVID-19 is still killing people. It's killing older people, which are pillars of families in these American families. So it's a lot of people that are going through that, you know. So you got to be aware of that, man. You got to be aware of what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? We ain't in no cartoon la-la world by any stretch of the imagination. See, these people that's around us never lived in the real world. Maybe because they're losers or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. You know, but the bottom line is they don't live in the real world we live in. And that's another thing you need to conclude, because they can't win. That's how you know they losers, because they can't win in the real world. So they got to try to manipulate and create a world where it look like they can win. That's why you can't equate wins to psychological stuff, because that's the world they create, so they look like they can win, and they're not winning. In our world, they winning? No, they're not. So you can't let them create a world around you where it look like they winning. No. You don't been through this enough times for people to see what you really think like, right? Everybody know how you really think. Okay, so then today or tomorrow or any other day will be just a trickery of mind that really don't define you or who your essence is, and the mind of in your mind and the spirit of your mind. It don't define you. It's just trickery of mind, and it's gonna roll off your back like water off a duck's back, right? In the minds of the people, in your mind, and everybody. That's why we have to isolate ourselves from these people. Let them die. Let them die on their own. And stop making it seem like it's an everyday affair, because they love attention. So that's why I starve them. I don't give them no attention. I don't harp on them all the time. I show you strategy. What I'm talking about now is strategy. But just what they're doing and how bad it is, I don't care about. It ain't nothing to me. It's nothing. It produces no results. It produces nothing in our world we live in. So all you got to do is to be the highest ranking soldier is come to terms with the fact, you know you're not a pedophile, right? You know you're not. You don't think like that. You know you're not anything, a racist or anything else they're trying to equate you to be. It could be that too. It could be a hateful person or something like that. They tried you and they created a war. So it's not hate, it's a war. And a sucker don't know the difference between hate and a war. And they trying to hold on to the real world, and they can't. They're not real enough. In other words, they don't have enough dynamics of the real world in their mind to connect to the world like they used to. See, they could use the culture and the drugs and the weed to connect to the world. But now that we got to deal with big boy issues and big girl issues, they don't connect to the real world. Now only the adults are connected to this real stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's why my videos are now more respected, because nobody ain't trying to hear about all this cartoon bouncing around stuff and all this corny stuff, all this completely stupid stuff. No one cares about those things no more. They're caring about now $4 a gallon for gas. That's what we talking about now. We ain't talking about none of those who's pedophiles and all this stuff. The world is falling apart. We don't care nothing about that. I'm just being real. You notice I ain't talking about no child marriage. I don't talk about it as like I used to, in the sense to inform like I used to. That time is gone. It don't matter no more. It almost don't even matter for me to share the information. Now imagine somebody else that don't even got credible information trying to share the same type of information. It don't matter. They too stupid to see it. It don't matter no more what you talking about. That's what world we coming to, which is good. Cause now all that stuff they talking about, pedophiles and all that stuff, they probably done said that word 1,000,000 times, haven't they? Literally, right? None of that. No one cares no more. Now we coming into a world of war where, sorry, buddy, we don't care about that. Americans don't care about it. Every day that passes by, the issue of a pedophile is becoming less and less relevant. It's becoming less and less relevant. Keep in mind that your community has severely contradicted itself with child marriage laws and the Epstein files and all of that. I mean, with that being said, to point a finger at some guy out here and you got all this other stuff going on, it's just it's an irrelevant issue. It's like, it's too irrelevant. No one cares, especially about a random person. It's losing power. That's why they got to try to use the same trick and just do some different little shimmy with it. We don't care about that no more. We really don't. Okay? We really don't care about it. Okay, so that's how you got to be. You gotta be. You don't care. You know you're not perfect. But you ain't no pedophile. You ain't no racist. You ain't no whatever else they saying. That's not true because your reality tells you it's not true. When all else fails, you say reality triumphs over all of this stuff. Just say to yourself reality, and that's it. And it all goes away. Reality. And you learn to live with being a human being with flaws. And you don't let nobody hold you on no tightrope like you perfect. You go to war. And if you live, you live. And if you die, you die. But that's when you go to war. You don't let nobody play with you like you're an animal. Okay, you go to war, buddy. And if you live, you live. And if you die, you die. That's how you live as a human being in this world we live in. Yeah.